Hello, it's Binni here. Thanks for joining this session. Today is a crash course. This means that, for those who are new to us, I will take you through to how you can get started and then the essentials to start trading with TAW. All right. So there are certain topics that I will skip, okay, because then it's really meant to get you started in the quickest way. All right, now it's 8 o'clock. I'm still waiting for people to come in to join us. All right, so if you are in Zoom, which some of you have access, then you can ask me questions there. But most of you would be in YouTube, right? So you can ask me in YouTube. At the same time, the session will be recorded. So I'm just going to record right now. Just give me a minute to find the record button. Okay, now if you are in YouTube and you would like to ask me a question, okay, then you need to subscribe to the channel. Okay, after you have subscribed to the channel, then you can ask me a question. All right. Okay, now I'm tracking your questions. Okay, so those which are relevant to this session, I will answer. However, if they are not too relevant, right, I will put them towards the end of the session. Okay, and then once I've, as a sort of completed what I need to talk about today, then you ask me the question again. Okay, that means that there's a schedule that I want to follow. All right, and some of the things would probably that I'm going to cover answer your question. If they are not answered, then you ask me again towards the end of the session. All right. And if I didn't answer them, then you ask me again by sending us an email. I'll make sure that I answer that on a Thursday evening session. Okay. All right. This is just a standard slide, which is a disclaimer here. Okay. So there'll be the admin part, which is 15 minutes of setting up. So this is the admin part, and to set up your platform indicators. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the use of TAW strategy, how to use a dashboard, how to know your entry, and then especially how to use Alum. All right. But before these, what I mean as a disclaimer, I observed that a lot of you guys didn't read or didn't watch the videos or didn't read the materials that we have. Okay. And I would say that 95% of the questions, they are already answered in our videos or in the reading resources. So do read them first. Okay. There will be seniors out there to help you, but these are things where you can read them and the answers are there. Okay. So I'm going to talk about our resources, which is to look into the every morning there's a Telegram signal that's being sent to you, and then as well as a dashboard signal to reconcile some of, for example, the confusing part. Okay. A lot of people say that to start a program there's a lot of hard work to do. I always question when you say there's a lot of hard work to do, a lot of things to set up, right? Do you think that is that easy? I don't think that it's that easy to really want to get a comprehensive solution to trading. Okay, so if it's easy to set up, probably you're not having a comprehensive solution. All right, now first thing first, you should receive this email from us every time you sign up. Whenever you click either a payment via PayPal, credit card, or you pay via bank transfer, you should receive this very long-winded email that contains your membership subscription. That means that we will usually all the time attach a membership subscription. Okay. Now, in order to claim the refund from the brokers, all right, there are a few criteria to meet. Number one, you have to pay for the TAW cost. That's of course the first part. Second, you need to sign up for an account using our link. If you sign up for an Axie or Blueberry account without our link, okay, or without telling them you are coming from us, okay, then how do I give you the refund? Okay, I actually in one of the webinar explain how this very creative refund work. All right, so therefore you have to tell them that you are coming from us. Okay, so in order to do that, you use our link to open an account, or if you have already an existing account with XE, you need to apply for a new account, okay, at Client Portal, and you need to say, I want to join Terra Seeds, because if you don't tell them, then how do they know that you want to take this particular promotion? All right, you need to fulfill minimum 2 standard lots in terms of Forex. Okay, the specification is very clear. You need to do 2 standard lots, all right, in Forex, and the volume is cumulative. So in our email, we have actually sent you how to get these 2 standard lots easily. Okay, every time you click one lot and then close it immediately, and click another one lot, close it immediately. All right. Now the last date of the promotion is right now, 30th March 2023, because the brokers will always extend either every 3 months or every 4 months, every 6 months, which means that after it had expired, right, even myself do not know whether it will be extended or not. All right, so they would usually look at the response and decide whether they want to extend or not. So you have seen some brokers decided, I don't want to extend for this one, and I want to stop this, and after they come back again, to run their promotion campaign. All right. So therefore, because the last day of promotion is 30th March 2023, therefore you have 3 months from 30th March 2023, okay, to fulfill that volume, which means that you need to fulfill the volume by 30th June 2023. I repeat, 30th June 2023. All right. And after that, you tell your account manager, all right, that you have fulfilled the volume. Give them the receipt, okay, the proof, all right, the membership or profile or the receipt, and then that's it. You have your $700 deposited as a cash, all right, into your trade account. Okay, so that's how you get the $700 here. All right, so everything is in our website. So this one I won't talk about it, but people ask me, which account should you get? So we give you the standard answer: standard account, leverage 1:100, and fund in the currency of use. Okay, meaning that if you are in Australia, you are earning Aussie dollar, you fund in Aussie dollar. If you're in Singapore, you're earning Sing dollar, you fund in Sing dollar. If you are in Malaysia, all right, and then you fund in, I think it will be USD, all right, and that's probably the main where our students come from. Okay, the currency of use. Okay, go for a standard account and not a pro account. Okay, I repeat, standard account, not a pro account. All right. Now, very important, at our course page at our website, there should be this, form to fill in. Okay, form to fill in, whether it's for Blueberry or XE. You fill in the form. You should receive an auto email from us, and in there it will contain all the information, whether they are information on how to get back your course refund, your contact details of your manager. All right. Now, I want to emphasize, right, you guys are a special group. Okay, so you do not, okay, I repeat, important things, repeat 3 times. Do not inquire XE at the general line or Blueberry at the general line. Okay, especially for XE, they actually have a Singapore-based team, okay, to support all of you. All right, so you should assess and inquire about XE and everything, whether you submit your refund information to this email, which is called partnersupport@xe.com. All right, so this is the email here that you need to reach to them, not the general line. Okay, so if you do have a pro account, no issue. You can go inside your client portal to open a standard account. Okay, open it yourself and then do an internal transfer. All right, the reason why you don't want a pro account is because when you use Alum, okay, you can't incorporate the commission inside Alum. Okay, when you have Alum, it's supposed to shift to break even, right, by considering the spread. Okay, but when you have that 2 different component, commission plus spread, then they cannot calculate in your commission. All right, so that's the reason for a standard account. There is no difference between a standard account or pro account in terms of trading conditions. Okay, they are the same. All right. Now, in terms of support, some of you have technical problems. We have contacted our technical support, and usually, we will try to solve it for you. Okay, if you really cannot, then you would do it on a remote access. Okay, so we will arrange a remote access to set up for you. They are everybody has different computers. Okay, some have Mac, and my Mac right now cannot be installed with MT4. Okay, I have not tried yet, but some Mac can do so. So we have different technical problems, and we try to work around that. So every day we are discovering new things. Okay, especially when like Apple changed something with OS, but then MetaTrader cannot catch up, etc., etc. Right. So technical support, please don't be scared. We are here to help you. All right, but try to solve the problem first yourself, lah. Don't everybody throw to us. Okay, then in terms of weekly webinars, there would be Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday would be more on the trades and the current market. So I did the Tuesday session yesterday. All right, and Thursday would be covering the theories again, revision. So I'll choose specific topics or answer your questions. So if you do have questions and I didn't manage to answer today, then you ask them on the Thursday session. All right, now the time-wise is either 4 p.m. because we do have quite a lot of international students. All right, or 9 p.m. Okay, so let's say, for example, if I have an evening session at 7 or 8, and usually I'll give priority to all of you, and I can't turn it away, then I will schedule a 4 p.m. session. All right. The webinar link would be posted in our Facebook support group, okay, private group, and then broadcast to Telegram channel. The recording on the Tuesday will be, you can access that in the same YouTube link. So usually we will post a Zoom link and a YouTube link, right? So for Tuesday's session, you can use back the same YouTube link to access. But on the Thursday, all right, you will be reposted to our website, and we will announce that on the Friday via Telegram. Okay, it's different, So because my stand is that for those who have their subscription expired, okay, in fact, I still let you attend the webinars. All right, but there must be certain things that I want to withhold, right? Okay, especially for those who didn't pay for that renewal. So the Thursday session, all right, will not be made available. Recording will not be made available to them. But if they want to attend the Thursday session, they have to do it live. Okay, so that is the difference here. If you had applied for 1:500, doesn't matter. You can go to the client portal, apply for another account, and you put 1:100. But even if you put 1:500, as long as you don't utilize it, you don't overutilize your your margin, it shouldn't be any problem. Okay, what is overutilized? You have you don't put $1,000 and then you go and trade one standard lot. All right, so that is you're gonna blow your margin immediately. Okay, all right. Any questions to the weekly webinars? Okay, so if you don't have questions, then next would be, where do you get the FB support group? Where do you access the Facebook support group? Because the access of all our webinars and also the videos that I'm going to record, or I'm recording, would be in the Facebook support group. Then where do you enter this Facebook support group? All right, so in that very long-winded email that we sent to you, we have this step here, 2 steps. All right, a lot of people don't look at them in details, meaning that you tend to skip and then you tell us, hey, how can I access? Or you never actually go inside Facebook at all. Okay, so please go back to that email and look at how you can join our Facebook. All right, so 2 steps here. Number 1, you fill in the form. You must fill in the form and you must tell us what is your Facebook ID. Okay, very simple. If you don't know what's your ID, you log into your Facebook, you just copy and paste the entire link that you see on your browser. Okay, so that's the first thing, your Facebook ID. All right, we are not very stringent in your Facebook ID. Let's say, for example, if you are Thomas Tan and your Facebook ID is Tan Thomas, it's fine. Okay, we can recognize you via your email, etc. But you have to fill in a form to notify us what is your Facebook ID. Okay, and after that, you have to log in to your Facebook account, and then you request an access to our private group. Because if you don't request, right, we cannot grant you the access. You have to request, then we can grant you the access. Okay, 2 steps must be done. Because if you don't have access to the Facebook, you would not have access to the webinars access, right, every Tuesday and Thursday. So having this Facebook access is very important. All right, so make sure everybody do it. Okay, you must complete these steps. 2 steps, if you skip any of the steps, we can't do anything. So you have to request for the access. Number 2, you have to submit your ID to us. Okay, is there any problem here? Okay, no issue. Everybody have this access already. I think so. All right. It's very important that you get these assets, because we don't really I don't really remove you guys. In a way, once you're inside, unless that you broke the rules, you are always in, and you're always able to attend my session. Okay. All right. Next is our web page that tells you where to download the indicators. In fact, that we have sort of streamlined to have everything contained in one page, which is the Alien Wash indicator page, right? So you download one zip file, and in that zip file contains all the indicators. So you don't need to go to different places to go and download them. Okay, just one zip file. All right. Just to say one thing, right? For Alum, which is the trade manager, we call that a robot. In other words, in MT4, MT5 terminology, we call these an expert advisor. Okay, expert advisor, short form EA. Okay, so in Alum, it is an expert advisor. In other words, EA. It can only be used in the 2 brokers that we have, in the 2 brokers, right, which is Blueberry and XE. Okay, now why is that so? Now, in a lot of brokers, right, there is one extra bar, one extra 1 hour bar, or one extra 4 hours bar. Okay, now this extra bar is going to make the opening bar different. Okay, it's going to make that, the box different. Okay, and it happens every Monday. So in terms of calculation, it will be wrong. In terms of execution, it will be wrong as well. All right. So therefore, this is the reason why I have restricted it to 2 brokers. Okay, rather than some of you come to me and say, hey, look, how come you are executing the trade automatically like this? And then we do an investigation. Oh yeah, it's because you have this extra bar. All right. So it's going to be very chaos. Okay. Now, however, under the indicators portion, okay, what is indicators? The Autobox, the TAW 3.0, the MTF, they're all indicators that doesn't automatically execute your trade. All right, then you can use it in any brokers. So please understand the intention here. Of course, I can say you use it on all brokers and then wait for problems to happen. All right, but when problems happen, sometimes because it's an auto execution, then that problem can be huge. All right, so I'd rather that you don't use Alum. All right, then I don't want to create this problem. Okay, so in a way, I have no choice. All right, so please don't see it as restricting one broker, because there's a lot of problems that we have to address. Okay, so that's the reason here, right? Okay, so for the lot size and how much is it, right? I would do a live trade for you, a demonstration. In fact, that you can open a demo account in the same MT4 platform, and then you can do a demonstration in the demo account, right, with the fake money, all right, to show you exactly, how much can be done with 2K. Okay, but seriously, if you ask me, if you want to be serious about trading, all right, you want to make good money, all right, then 2,000 is not enough. Okay, then how much is enough? I would think, it's 5,000. I would think it's 10,000. Okay, but I also don't want you to put too much money inside. So usually I will tell my students, if you want to trade, slowly, then you just put in 5,000 first. Anyway, with XE, the funding is via Pay Now. You don't incur any charges. Okay, now if you do pay via Pay Now, and if you do encounter any issue, okay, now do come to us quickly. Okay, because every time when it's with funding, okay, with brokers, with funding. I am very concerned. And I told both XC and Blueberry very sternly, all right? They have to be in contact with my clients, all right, if there is a funding problem. Okay, because you will be definitely very scared if you don't see your money in your account, isn't it? Okay, so this is one thing that I'm very strict about with the two brokers. All right, and if you come to us and if I know about it, you know that the solution for me is instant. Okay, all right, and some of you came to me before, you know it. All right, so if you do have any problems with funding, you must CC us. Okay, the best way is try to CC us in your email, and you realize, all right, things get done quite easily and fast. Okay, all right. So MT4 platform, you have to download that. You can't use the web version. Okay, in order to trade, you have to download that. Now, if you're using Mac, we do have solutions for you to work around, but depending on the different Mac machine, right, and also the different chips, like for example, Mac right now has its own chip, M1, M2, M1 Pro, M1 Max, something like that. Some work, some doesn't work. It's very frustrating. Okay, now so this one here, this is where you download that zip file. So this is the one zip file that you can download, and inside here the shortcut, right, will tell you things that you need to know. Okay, for example, about the dashboard, and for example, about these VPS to run Alum. Okay, now this is Alum here. So we have a lot of videos here. In fact, you have to read the user guide. So you have a must read user guide that you must read it. And in this user guide, okay, if you read it, you realize that there is a special Telegram group. Okay, so this Telegram group, right, the link and the QR code to join that Telegram group is inserted inside the user guide. That means if you never read the user guide, right, you can't find the link, you can't join the Telegram group. Okay, the intention is to make sure that you read it. Now, I urge all of you to join the Telegram group, because then this is where the seniors will be there to answer your questions and for you to talk about things, and as well as I will post routine, very updated trades that I'm interested. Okay, for example, today I posted on Aussie, all right, and posted on TAW and posted on oil. So these are the trades, 3 trades, right, that was fired today, and all 3 trades I'm interested in them. Okay, so please go and join this special Telegram group. To do that, you have to go and read that user guide. The user guide is there. All right. Is demo account can use to try trade using live data? Yes. That means that you get a demo account. I will show you how to get a demo account later on if you want to. And the price feed, they are the same. Okay, it can be a little bit different, but mostly they are the same and same condition to the live account. Okay, all right. Now let me just explain. How, this is the support group in on Alum, all right? The group where we chat. Okay, so this is the group that you need to join, and the link to this group, it's found in the user guide. So user guide will have the link to the group. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now, features of MT4. Before this, right, I just want to talk about what is a VPS, or what you are trying to do with a virtual private server or a mini PC when you want to host your MT4. Okay, now, so this is your machine. So this one is your machine. I just try to draw a nice laptop here. So this is your machine, right? So this is you. You are here, right? Now, in order to let your EA, which is a robot, right, continue running, you cannot switch off your machine, okay, which is your computer. So I have a Mac, right, and the Mac is expensive. I cannot leave my Mac always on, correct? Okay, then what can I do then? You can access it and put this MT4 inside a virtual machine. So let's say this is your virtual machine. Okay, just give me a minute to I realized I shouldn't do this one. Just give me a minute here. Okay, just draw again. Let me just draw again. So this is your virtual machine. Oops. Okay, look ugly, virtual machine. So this is you. All right, and then you want to have MT4, right? Your MT4 should be housed on another machine. All right, and this machine, if you want to run alone, has a few characteristics. Okay, it's a 24 hours because the market moves 24 hours, right? And you want it to be switched on 5 days. Okay, so that's the requirement in order for the EA to continue to manage the trade. All right, okay. Now, so there are two solutions that you can have. Number one is you can have a VPS, which is a paid solution that right now Blueberry or XE is offering free for 6 months. Okay. Now, VPS stands for Virtual Private Server. So imagine that you have one more machine, okay, that is housed in the cloud. You don't see them at all. Okay, it's housed in the cloud, right? In a data center. Okay. Now, in here, the key thing is that you don't need to pay money to buy that machine. Okay, that server. All right, you basically rent it. And the good thing about this server is that you don't need to have aircon, you don't need to cool it, and it's switched on 24 hours by 5 days. Okay, so this one is payable. You need to pay it. Of course, then if you have other solutions, you still need to pay it up. But then this is on a monthly subscription. Currently, XE and Blueberry is giving 6 months free. Okay, all right. Now, the other solution is what some students are doing is to get a mini PC, okay, which is something that I'm recommending. I mean, I'm doing as well, okay, and it's like a Android box that sits beside on your house, okay, in your house, just beside your computer, it's as big as like just an Android box, or maybe the size of a calculator that you those kind of big button calculator, right, and it runs same thing, which is 24 hours by 5 days. Okay, 24 hours and 5 days. And basically, it's powered by your own electricity. Okay, now the price of this mini PC will range from, depending on what you picked it up. Okay, could be, I think, plus minus around 150. I'm not sure about the price, right? Because I bought a few mini PCs, and some of them is like maybe 120, some of them is 180. Some people buy a better configuration, it can be $250 or even $300. I'm not too sure, but basically you get a China-made mini PC. It should last you. I mean, this one also by luck one. It might last you for 2 years. It might last you for 3 years, etc. Okay. So the basic thing is that you have this sit in your house. Okay. So it's a machine that you can steer it. Now, third solution is that some people actually use a desktop. Okay, meaning that they have one extra desktop. So instead of buying anything new, all right, you just basically use the old desktop. It doesn't need a lot of money. But the key thing is that all these must be switched on 24 hours by 5 days if you want to use alone. Okay, so you're actually doing a server yourself. All right. Now, what you do is that on your own computer, you will use a remote access software. Okay, remote access software, for example, Microsoft Desktop or any desk or Chrome remote desktop, right, to go and access your server. Okay, all right, so I answer one basic question. If you are doing this, can you switch off this computer here? Okay, can you switch off this computer here, which is a computer that belongs to you? Okay, the answer is yes. All right, because this side here, this particular one here is not switched off. Okay, it's always on. But this one here, you can off it because you are only using your computer to access it. All right, so it's more like a viewer for you to connect to your server to view it. So this one, you can off it. Okay, all right. Now, is the mini PC safe? It's as if that you have your own computer, so you have to make sure that you have password, you have your antivirus software. All right. The thing is that if you don't go and for me, my mini PC is only used for MT4. I don't use it for any other things. I don't use it to go and access email. I don't use it to go and browse website. Okay. Is it too heated? For mine, it doesn't. Okay. Mine is, I think, cost about 120 or 130. It doesn't get heated. I don't even need to have an extra fan. But of course, that treat it as like a computer, All right. If you think that your house is very hot, then you might need to have a cooling fan. So different people have different solutions. We have students who use a business laptop because the laptop has a great cooling function, and then it's an access, that he has. So it doesn't matter whether it's spoiled. Anyway, it's not a very high, a very good desktop. So he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind blowing it, Yeah. Okay. Is VPS safe? Yes and no, because VPS is maintained by professionals. Okay. So therefore they have regular updates. But of course, then if you have a loose keywords, then people can just hack in. All right. Or if you have, let's say, if their servers are being attacked by somebody else, then of course, there will be data leak. Okay, so it's subject to any other issues. Okay, but basically this is the solution right now. Okay, if you want to host Alum. Okay, now if you don't want to host Alum, right, and you don't want to use the EA, that's fine. You don't need to have a mini PC, or VPS. But I recommend all of you to have it because this is like a basic steps you need to do. At least if you don't want to spend any money first, then you can get it from Maxi or from Blueberry. It's free. Okay, for 6 months. All right. Okay. Any other questions here? I basically covered the admin part, although I took about 30 minutes. The session would be about 2.5 hours, depending on the amount of questions. All right. Okay. Any questions on the usage of this Alum or hosting? Okay. No questions. Okay. No question. Let's take a look into MT4. Right. How many hosts will be given? How many hosts will be given for 6 month free VPS? I don't actually understand this question. How many hosts? How many? Yeah, maybe you phrase the question. That means we can play straight without using Alum running. Well, it doesn't make sense. One host addressed. It doesn't make sense, right, not to use Alum. Okay. If you don't want Alum to manage your trade, then you can use it to help you to open your trade first. Okay, and then if you don't need to manage your trade, don't need to help you shift your stop loss, you can just open it using Alum, which I will show it to you, for example. Now later on, when we launch the grid version, all right, having that VPS or a server, it's really, really strongly encouraged. For the Alum, all right, the current version that you have, my stand isn't that strong. Okay, basically I help you to get 6 months free VPS, all right. But if you don't want it, I really say okay, it's fine, all right. But if you have the grid version, then I really, really think that you should get it. Okay, all right. What is the configuration of my mini PC? I can't remember seriously, but I had it about 2 years ago, so my configuration will not be better than what is available here. I believe that it's a Celeron chip. I believe it's like 4 gig, and maybe the storage is about 64 GB. But seriously, I'm using it only to host MT4. Okay, because I'm using a Mac, all right, and I'm using a remote access to access my mini PC, all right. After after you have placed a trade with Alum, how will it look like in the VPS? I tried, but I can't see my charts there. When I open, what I saw was just the terminal with my open trade. So this is my remote. Okay, so this is my VPS. Okay. So what happened is that this is Microsoft Remote Desktop. Okay, as I mentioned that I'm accessing it from my Mac, right? So I just key in the address and I just double click there. And it should connect to my remote desktop. Okay, I would see another one more screen that pop up. Then I would see an MT4 here as if that I am looking at another window, like another separate window. So this one housed in my VPS, okay? So, but this one here, let me just shift them, right? So this one housed in my mini PC, and all of them are all remote access. So they appear to me like windows. See, this is one windows. When you place your trade, it should be there, okay? You should be able to see your MT4, all right? So no difference here. So you see, I remove them. I get this particular PowerPoint housed in my Mac. Okay, so they are all windows to me. So actually, this is a remote access. Okay, so that's this one. Oh wait, this one is my VPS. See that? Okay. And this is my Microsoft Remote Desktop to access the VPS. Can we use Alum in demo account for start? Yes, you can. Okay, you can use Alum in a demo account for start as long as the demo account is XE or Blueberry. Do I recommend using a mini PC better than Mac? Cause I have problem downloading another MT4 on Mac. Actually, you as a Mac user, right? I definitely recommend using it into a Windows environment. I find that it is quite good, right, to have actually a mini PC, because in a mini PC it costs about, let's say, 150, right? In it comes with Windows. When you buy Windows, how much do you pay? I have no idea. Maybe you also pay $100 or maybe $80. All right, so you just pay something extra, you get another computer. In terms of power usage, I don't really see any difference between having it versus not having it. Okay, so I never switch off my computer. In fact, that when I'm traveling, I actually left my mini PC on. I left my internet on. yeah. I still love Mac. I really love Mac. My previous Mac was 10 years, and I just changed to an M1 chip. Yeah. Anyway, after 6 months of free BPS, what is the fee then? If I'm not wrong, if you meet a certain requirement, you still, in terms of volume, you still get it for free. Okay. But what you can do is that, because there's two brokers, right? One gives 6 months, the other one gives 6 months, right? After the 6 months, you can migrate to the other one to get another 6 months. That's 12 months already. Okay. But it's subjected to the pricing of the VPS provider. I believe it's about $20 US. I think so. Okay. Let's not talk about Alum Grid. It's not being launched yet. When it's launched, I will let you know. Okay. It's being tested right now by live trading with our people. So our people are actually trading it live right now. Can iPhone access the mini PC remote access? Yes, you can. You can use any desk. I'm actually accessing my remote PC with my phone as well as my iPad. Okay, all right. That makes it actually very easy. Okay, so that's done. Okay, let's talk about placing a trade then. Okay, so when you place a trade with MT4, okay, so this is a demo account, right? So when you place a trade with MT4, you to start a demo account, right? You want to get a demo account, okay? You can just click on all these buttons here to the top left, okay? Market Watch is the place that you go and see all the price feed. This place here is where you get all your indicators, including, getting this extra account here. So let's say, for example, if I want to have a demo account, just go File, all All right, go file. Okay, and then open an account. Okay, all right, open an account. Okay, and then you can just get a demo account from XE. See this demo here, US03 demo. Click on it and then click next, and then you can actually get a new demo account. So this is how you get a new demo account in your same MT4 platform. So if you have, let's say, a live account and a demo account, you have to switch them around. Your indicators will be the same, right? You won't change. You just have to switch around to make sure that you are trading at the correct account. Okay. All right. Okay, so this one you don't need to know. Okay, so let's talk about how to place a trade. Of course, I recommend to use Alum, but then if you want to place a trade, you can just click new order here. All right. But in any case, one shortcut for you, right click. All right, right click. If you don't want to do anything and then you don't know how to do it, you just do right click. All right, and then you go buy limit, or you go trading, you go buy limit, you go new order, etc. Okay, just right click and you see the trading button. Okay, so otherwise, if you have, let's say, a keyboard, then you just have to press F9. All right, just press F9 on your keyboard. You should get this order button here. Okay, or you can just press this new order here, and that will still pop up the order button. Okay, all right, so F9 or just press this one here. Now, I'm just quickly explain how MT4 works. Right, so buy market means that you want to buy right now. Okay, sell market means you want to sell right now. Okay, now, but you must make sure that your type here, you choose a market execution. All right, so let's say, for example, you want to do a limit order. Okay, in other words, in MT4, they call it a pending order. Okay, meaning that you want to buy at a better price or you want to sell at a better price, right? You must click pending order here. So this is a pending order. Then it will change, all right, to let you place either a buy limit or either a sell limit. Okay, we don't use buy stop and we don't use sell stop because it's a lousy idea. All right, so we used either a market order or we use a pending order. So this is how you modify your orders, right, in the MT4 platform. Okay, now let's say, for example, you want to know how much is being consumed for your margin. Okay, that means that you say, I want to place, I have only 2,000. I want to place, let's say, one standard lot to get the volume, right? So what you do is that you can go and try an order. Let's say, for example, I click a new order here and I want to do, let's say, euro versus the dollar. Okay, this is one way. You can click here to choose euro versus the dollar. Otherwise, what I prefer is that my chart is euro versus the dollar. Then how do I actually get this, choose of euro versus dollar quickly? Just press the enter button on your keyboard, press enter, and then you type euro versus the dollar. Otherwise, you can get your market watch, and then you can just drag euro versus the dollar onto your screen, onto your chart, right? You should get that currency. Let's say I want dollar versus yen. Just drag it in, and then it should become dollar versus yen. Okay. Otherwise, you don't want, just press enter on your keyboard, and then press EUR USD, and then press enter again. It should switch to euro versus the dollar. Okay. Now I want to place a trade, as I said before, right? Always right click, and then you say I want to go for trading. So or you press F9 on your keyboard. It should get you this new order. Then you key in the lot size that you want. Let's say, for example, I want to know how much margin is being consumed. All right, with one standard lot. Okay, you just press a sell market, and then it should be reflected inside here. Okay, so to have your answer, the margin that's required for €1, one standard lot of euro is 1,553. For me, this currency is Aussie. You can start your demo account in SGD. Okay, and you will be able to know how much 2,000, if you have 2,000, all right, whether you have enough margin to do a one standard lot. Okay, now one of the ways that I talk about how to meet the volume quickly is to place an order and quickly close it. Okay, so for example, just now I placed a sell order already, all right, and I like to close my order, okay, with a loss of $46, for example. So how do I close it? Do you see this cross button here? Okay, you just press it, cross it, and then it asks you, do you want to close this order? Yes, you want to close it. You say, I want to close the order. Don't go and do buy market or sell market now. You just want to close this order. And that get you a loss of $40. Boom, and then that's it. It closed already. All right. So if you want to do, to fulfill that 2 standard lot, the best way to do it, right, is with euro or dollar yen, which is a tighter spread. And then you must do it in the FX. Okay. So I'm just going to do it again for you. So go F9. All right. Place an order, 1 standard lot, sell market. Okay, after that, quickly just go and close it. All right, you should end up with $18, loss. So if you do it twice, you probably have a loss of $40, and you can get that $700 into your account. Okay, creative ways. But if you don't want to do that, you just want to slowly trade it, fine. Because you have a lot of time to do that, to fulfill it. Okay, and it's cumulative. That means that you don't need to one time go and do like 1 standard lot. You can do it slowly, 0.01, accumulate that until 2 lots and claim it back from the brokers. All right? So the whole idea is don't be scared of placing orders. Okay? You just try in demo account. Any problem, anyway, that's a demo account. Just try. Click here and there as much as you would like to, and then just play with that. All right, so let me just answer some question. Am I right to say I download MT4 and then therefore all my trades will be via MT4? Yes, you're right. Okay. All right, so if you have any issue, right click here, okay, and then you go under trading and then you place an order here, okay, or you just press F9 on your keyboard and then just place the relevant orders. Okay, so I'll demonstrate later on how to use Alum. I find that personally Alum is so much easier, okay, than just manual trading. All right, okay. So any question to use MT4? Of course, there are a lot of functions out here. You have to figure them. You have to go and play around with it. Click some button, click this, click here, click that, click here, and then play with it. No platform is easy because when you are not familiar with it, nothing is easy. Okay, all right. But when you are used to it, then you say, okay, it's not that bad. All right. So starting is always tough. All right. So always use a demo account to try first. Okay. Any question here before I move on to the next section? Okay. Now, next part that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna talk about the commonly traded pairs. All right. Before this. Yes, I will demonstrate now how to use Alum, but later part, okay, at the later stage. Before this, right, have you guys completed the module 1? I hope to get an answer yes, so I would assume that yes. Yes, you did that. If you haven't done so, please go and complete module 1. Okay? All right. Now here I've listed the commonly traded pairs. All right? And I will talk about then how to, understand these pairs. All right. Now, there are 2 which is not FX related. Okay. And we do indexes as well. Okay. We do basically anything that is that can make money. Okay. So in a way, we can say that it's opportunistic. All right. Like for example, yesterday I talked about mostly focusing onto the stock market, not specific stocks, but onto the index. Okay, because I see an opportunity there. All right, and it doesn't mean that I need to always be looking into the forex. No such things. Okay, all right. So we are quite flexible. We can do, for example, gold. Right, this is gold XAU versus USD. Okay, XAU is gold. All right, it takes a little bit of time to remember. Same thing, right? If you want to remember the code of Tesla. It's not TELSE, but TSLA. You want to remember Apple, it's AAPL. So it takes time to remember. So gold is XAU USD. All right. And different brokers would label it differently. For example, some will say GOLD, gold. Some will do XAU USD. Some will have XAU JPY, XAU AUD. So they pair it differently. Because in terms of forex, there would be always two currency involved. Okay, so it's always something against something. For example, USD, all right, versus SGD is a common pair. All right, okay. Okay, so all of them are all CFDs. You are trading the spot prices, but the instrument behind is the CFDs. All right. Okay, because you're not doing the futures because there's no delivery. All right, but yet you're not doing the fiat. You're not doing the physical money. Okay, so for example, you take a look at the forex pair or any of the pair like XUD. So this gold is priced against the USD. Okay, so for example, if you have dollar versus Sing, what does it mean? When dollar versus Sing is equal to 1.35. Okay, what it means is that the front currency, we call this the first currency, is always equal to 1. Okay, and the 1.35 is always attached to the second currency. So this one is the first currency, and then this one is the second currency. All right, we call the first currency the base currency, and we call the second currency the profit currency. Okay, that means that, right, your base currency will always be equal to 1, okay, and your profit and loss will always be equal to the second currency. Okay, now this means that, for example, if you traded euro versus CAD, okay, euro will be always equal to 1, and if let's say euro versus CAD is 1. Let's say 20, what does it mean? It means that 1 euro can fetch you 1.20 CAD. So if you are trading euro versus CAD, then your profit and loss would be in euro or CAD. Answer for you, okay? Would be always in Canadian dollar, CAD. All right. Likewise, for example, if you trade in dollar versus Sing, so you trade this pair called dollar versus Sing, your profit and loss will always be Sing dollar. Okay, so when you talk about, let's say, dollar versus Sing goes up, now what does it mean? Okay, it means that when price goes up, let's say I draw again, right? Dollar versus Sing, okay, USD versus SGD. When it goes up, what it means is that dollar goes up against Sing dollar, Sing. Okay, so when dollar versus Sing goes up, it can be because USD goes up, or and then the Sing is flat, or it can be USD goes up, the Sing is down, or it can be USD is flat, the Sing actually goes down. So there are many different ways, but any currency is always tagged to the other currencies, okay, as a like pair. Okay, so we always say this is a pair, right? So we want to evaluate, for example, the movement of euro to pound, so we can trade into euro versus pound. Okay, or we want to say, I want to look into oil. Okay, and then oil is USO, all right, but is priced in USD. Okay, so these are the commonly traded pairs. All right, so in our dashboard, we have given you a list of the commonly traded pairs. All right. Okay, now let's talk about spread. Now in your MT4, at the top left, later I'm going to show it to you, there will be this particular window that you can bring down, you can expand, right? And therefore you're going to see your spread. Now the spread, right, is your cost of trading. The lower the spread, the better it will be. But having said this, okay, I want to correct all of you. When I said the lower the spread, the better it will be. How about if your broker don't charge you a spread? I ask you this question, okay? I make a remark. The lower the spread, the better it will be. Then what happens if a broker don't charge you a spread? Then what do you think? Okay, you think about it, right? They have commission, yes, but it's not logical not to charge a spread. Okay, they don't even charge you any commission. Okay, yeah, there's no free lunch. There must be something out there. They cannot not charge you a spread. All right. So the lower it is, the better it will be, but it must be logical. Because why? Because if the broker gets the quote, all right, from the liquidity provider, which are usually big banks, the big banks will have to charge them a raw spread, okay, which is the raw spread here. All right. And of course, when the broker give it to you, they have to do a markup because the broker has to make money, isn't it? Okay, so they are like, usually a raw spreads are going on. Let's say, for example, the raw spread is 0.5. Okay, after the broker markup already, blah, 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 then, maybe the net spread to you, it's like for euro, it could be 0.9, it could be 1.0, but there must be a reasonable number. Okay, so it must be reasonable. All right. However, this spread will increase, okay, when the trading volume is not high, or rather when the liquidity is low. Okay, so what happened is this, let me just go through the details here. All right, most of the time for euro, for example, the spread would be around this number. It can fluctuate between 1.0 to actually maybe 1.2, 1.3, etc. It can even go lesser than 1.0, but that's the normal spread. All right, but in Singapore time, at this particular hour, which is usually about 5 plus a.m., okay, to 6 plus a.m. Singapore time, all right, if you wake up, you find that for euro, the spread can be maybe 10 plus. Okay, now why is this so? This is because that's where people are not trading anymore. So in terms of offer, bid and offer, all right, because people are not trading anymore and the banks are not having a lot of liquidity, people are not transacting, etc. Therefore, the spread would widen. Okay, so for example, in the morning, about this time here, the spread for euro could be 10 plus if you look at them. Or maybe for, let's say, euro versus yen, it can be 20 plus. So that's how wide that spreads, right, can open up. Okay, so is this normal? It is normal. Will this only happen to XE or Blueberry? No, it will happen to all brokers. Okay, all of them. All right. So therefore, there are some brokers who offer you the maximum, not maximum, fixed stop loss. No, fixed stop loss. Fixed spread, or maximum stop loss. Okay, that means that guarantee stop loss. Then why can I do that with guarantee stop loss? The only thing is because your order is not passing through the banks. Okay, your orders are directly to the brokers. That means that you are directly trading with the brokers. The brokers, in other words, right, they are taking your bet. Okay, in other words, you win is the broker's loss. Your loss is equal to the broker's win. All right. Okay. So there are a lot of things. Please, when you read the reviews, all right. While reviews are good, but a lot of misunderstanding from here. So anyway, I won't touch on that. Okay. So anyway, that's the spread here. So in other words, spread is equal to your cost of trading. All right. Okay. Now, in terms of lot size, these are the 3 lot size here. So lot size, the first one, which is the lowest one, and this is also the reason why, right, I encourage people to trade into the forex. The reason is because we could really start low. Okay, in terms of stocks, right, because of commission and because of the price of stocks, sometimes it just doesn't make sense to buy one lot. Okay, although one shares, okay, not one lot, one shares. Although there are certain stocks that you can buy one shares, for example, Berkshire, you have to buy one shares, right? But most of the time it just doesn't make sense to buy one shares. Okay, but for forex, you can go to the smaller size, okay, to the lower size, and it can be one micro lot, which is the lower size, and it means 1,000 units, and the unit of measurement that you need to key in for your trade is 0.01. Okay, so when you want to trade one micro lot, in other words, you are actually trading 1,000 units. What is 1,000 unit? Because if you are trading into dollar versus Sing, so let's say you want to do USD versus SGD, right? Oops. Yeah. Okay, if you want to trade USD versus SGD, 1,000 units, that means one micro lots of USD, okay, versus SGD, then you are doing 1,000 units of SGD, okay, worth of USD. I'm not too sure whether I got it correct or wrong because this one is too long ago for me. But anyway, the whole idea is that you are doing 1,000 unit of this particular currency here. Okay, and if you want to key this into MT4, then you will key in 0.01. Okay, now let's say for example, if the quote is 1.3510 and it moved to 1.3520. Okay, all right, see 1.3510 to 1.3520. A lot of you guys will have a problem identifying pips, huh? Okay, don't worry, this will come naturally to you. I have a lesson to talk about this one here. All right, but it means that there is a difference of 10 pips. Okay, see it as maybe 10 points, or maybe you want to remove the dot, see it as 135010 to 135020. Basically, it's a difference of 10. Okay, so if you do 1 micro lots, right, that means 0.01, 1 pip equal to 10 cents. Okay, so when you have 10 pips, okay, I'll see it as maybe 10 points, right? And 1 pip equal to 10 cents. So 10 pips will be equal to how much? So 0.1 times 10, that's equal to $1. Oh, okay. All right. So 1 pip equal to 10 cents for micro lot. Is that fixed for all brokers? Yes, for FX. Yes, for all brokers that's doing FX. That is fixed. Right? So it means that, right, when you lose, I want to talk about loss, right? When you lose 100 pips, how much are you losing? $10. Okay? You're not losing 1,000, you're not losing 10,000. Unlike stocks, you can lose this amount. Okay? Because if you never cut loss and then it get down, blah, and you can't really trade a very small lot size. Okay, so if you do a micro lot, 1 micro lot, 100 pips equal to $10. And I think that is so much easier to digest this $10 here. All right. Okay, let's say for example, I decided to upsize. Can I do 0.05? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Okay, 0.05. Then, if you have 1 pip, will not be equal to 10 cents. Okay. Now, it means that 1 pip here, if you're doing 0.05, that will be equal to 50 cents. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, if 1 pip equal to 50 cents, then it moved by 100 pips. Then how much is 100 pips, right, on a 0.05? That would be $50. Okay. All right. Now, let's say, for example, I don't want to do 0.05. I like to do 0.1. Okay, what does this mean? It means that you're doing 10 times of a micro lot. 10 times 1 micro lot is equal to 1 mini lot. Because 1 micro lot is 1,000 unit and 1 mini lot is equal to 10,000 unit. So therefore, 1 mini lot is equal to 10 micro lots. Okay? Now, in other words, right, if you want to remember, it makes it so much easier to remember a mini lot size, 0.1. Okay, 1 pip equal to $1. Okay, so let's say for example, if I'm doing 0.1, all right, and it moved by 100 pip, then how much will I be losing? Okay, so 1 pip equal to $1. I lose 100 pip, then would be $100. Okay, let's say for example, I don't want to do 0.1. I want to do 0.15. Can this be done? Yes or no? Yes. It can be done. All right. So, how much do you make in 0.15? If you, let's say, make 100 pips, right? Then you make 1 pip equal to $1. 100 pips is equal to $150. Yes, that's how you do a calculation. But many times you don't actually need to do all this calculation because it's automatically calculated for you. You just have to have a rough idea. Okay, you just have to remember that when you do a micro lot, usually you will end up your wins in the tens, $10, $20, $30, something like that. Okay. When you do a mini lot, you will end up your win or loss in the hundreds, maybe like 100, 200, 300. Okay. Then how about one standard lot? One standard lot is equal to 100,000 unit. So one pip equal to $10. You will end up your wins or your loss in hundreds or thousands. So if you, let's say, make 100 pips and you trade one standard lot, then you're going to have $1,000 profit. Okay. Or $1,000 loss. All right. So if you have one standard lot and you make 200 pips, that will be 2,000. All right. Okay. Yes, for gold and silver, it will be different. All right. But it shouldn't be too different. The only key difference lies in your oil, your indexes. So to understand this, what you have to do is you go into a demo account. Okay. Click on this button here, which is called the terminal, or do a Control T. All right. And then you try and play around with it. Okay. Because this question is how to calculate your leverage. Your leverage is what you define. But I think the question would be how you calculate the margin that you use. Okay. Then you go and place a trade. So let's say I place a new order here and I want to do, let's say, 36. And do 0.36. I want to sell right now. Okay. I sell a market. Okay. Then, I do 0.36 and I roughly end up like, $9, $10, something like that. And then how much is my spread? Okay, click on this button here, the small little button that show the trade panel. You can see, okay, that's almost like my spread, about 1.3 here. Okay, now, and then what is the margin that I consume for 0.36? Okay, and that's about 559 Aussie dollar. Okay, so it's about, Sing dollar is about equivalent amount, same amount, around 500 plus or so. All right. So let's say, for example, even if you are on 1:500, okay, and when you're on 1:500, it means that you don't need that much margin to open it. Open 0.36. Your margin consumed, right, would probably be only $100 plus only. Okay, but as long as you don't overtrade, you are generally safe. Okay, because then if you give it an idea, the margin gives you an idea of how much is being consumed from your funded amount. So when you have a high leverage, 1:500, you use very little margin, and then you might keep on trading to think that you have enough money there, but in fact you don't have. Okay, so what I recommend is always if you can have good self-discipline, it's actually 1:100. Or rather not good self-discipline. If you have bad discipline, you maybe 1:100. If you can have good discipline, it's actually 1:200 or even 1:400 is fine as long as you don't overuse it. Okay. You want to know how much it is for yen. So same thing. All right. You can just go here and then just type dollar yen and then you just anyhow click a button. Okay. Press the F9 and then this time round I want to click like one lot. Okay, I'm going to just buy the market. Okay, you can see one lot in yen. All right, let me just close this one here. I will be consuming 1,451. Roughly, one lot is could be 1,004, 1,005. So if you are doing 0.1 lot, 0.1, that would be 10% of whatever that you see here. Okay, and then the price here will be converted for you, right, to your funded currency. Okay, all right. So you say, okay, I want to know what is happening for gold. Right, same thing. You go here, type gold, and I say, okay, I want to go and sell gold right now. Okay, press the F9, and then you sell one lot in gold, sell market. And okay, for gold, I consume 2,665 Aussie dollar. All right, and it seems that just by movement of 0.1, okay, 0.1, okay, it can move like $10 for 0.1, 10 cent, okay. All right, for one lot, it's actually 10 USD, for example. Okay. All right. So just remember in this manner here, regardless of the instrument that you are trading, if you are trading a micro lot, 0.1, your wins and loss will be in the tens, $10, $20, $30. All right. If you are doing a mini lot, Your win and loss will be in the hundreds. And if you're doing a standard lot, that will be in the thousands. Okay, so that's the best way to remember. Okay, the rest, you just have to try out here. Okay. Does it mean that we should try to trade when the spread is small? You don't want to trade. You try to trade, right, in normal times, like, our recommended times when the signal happens, 2, 6, 10. All right. Don't wake up to trade in the morning. All right. In the morning, the spread will be very huge. What kind of brokers? XC, BBM. They are straight through STP. They have a lot of liquidity providers, especially XC. XC is huge in terms of volume clearance. It's actually the top 10 in the world. Okay. How come the spread is always changing when trading? Well, because it's being passed through the banks. Okay. That means that when the different banks quote, all right, when you have 10 banks and different banks will quote, and the broker will take the most competitive ones to feed it to the price feed. All right, so that's why it will change. In fact, that for stocks is also the same thing. For stocks, right, if you're trading the US stocks, the spread will also change, right? It's just that you probably you probably didn't notice, okay, or it's not highlighted. Okay, so in stocks, certain things was being highlighted. In FX, right, certain things will be highlighted. Okay, I think that seriously, in FX, probably we highlight too many things. In stocks, probably, a lot of people just skip it, right? Okay, so let's leave it here. Let me just continue. Okay, so let's talk about the strategy. Same thing. If there's questions that I can answer relevant to the current stuff that I'm talking about, I will answer that. If not, then you ask me later on. Okay, and I just probably browse through your questions later on. Okay, so if you had done module 2, this shouldn't be too straight. It should be quite clear to you, but I just want to highlight it. Okay, here we go. All right. Just wanted to talk about the entry. Okay, so this was one of the trade that happened yesterday, which was on Euro Kiwi. Right, now let me just introduce a little bit. Right, when you go inside the day, you will see few things only. You won't see everything. Okay, and please, right, do not try to change the methodology or the way it's being put for you. Okay, for example, if you have all these arrows or ticks, right? This, you can only see it on your day chart. That means it's only available, visualized on your day chart and on your weekly chart. Okay, so that's the week chart to see all these ticks. When you go inside the 4-hour, you will not see them. Okay, but of course, some students, they are familiar. What they do is that they go into the indicator list, and then they just go and change the indicator setting, and they want it to be seen on the 4-hour. Okay, and I strongly discourage you setting extra stuff in the time frame. All right, that means stick to our template first. Okay, and when you get very good, then perhaps you want to change that. Not when you are not familiar and then you go and add this. Okay, it's not good. All right, so let's just stick to it. Okay, so in the day chart, you would see the wash lines, okay, the week wash line, and the ticks and all the arrows. Okay, now what does these ticks and arrows tells you? It tells you, all right, when a wash and rinse had happened. Pardon me, this is all the problem with any desk. Okay, now when a wash and rinse had happened. All right, so let me just talk about this one here. Now take a look at this green tick here. Okay, so this green tick here. Now the green tick is only drawn when the day had ended, meaning that the new day has formed. All right, so only when this particular white color candle has formed, all right, then you would see a tick or an arrow being drawn. Okay, so only when this particular candle has completed, the day had closed, then you see the tick and the arrow being drawn. Okay, now what it shows you is that it tells you at one glance there was a wash and rinse. Okay, green color means it's a bullish wash and rinse. Red color means it is a bearish wash and rinse. All right, okay, so there is no differentiation in terms of importance between the tick or the arrows. Okay, doesn't mean that, you know, I have a tick is more important than versus arrow. No. All right, the only differentiation here is the color. Green is for bullish wash and rinse, and red is for bearish wash and rinse. Okay, and that happens on the day time frame at the end of the day close. All right, so let's take a look at this one here. When you have the tick, the green tick happens, it tells you that this is your rinse bar. Okay, so this is your rinse bar. I would have assumed that you know what is wash and rinse already. All right, so this is a rinse bar. And then when you have a rinse bar, right, there should be a wash bar. Okay, so this black color here is the wash bar. So what is wash and rinse? Wash and rinse basically said that there is a price level priced close below a certain price level, a certain line. All right. And if price continue to stay below this wash line here, so this line here, all right, it should continue to move down. Okay. Now, what if price doesn't stay above the wash line? What if it actually close back up? Okay. That means that those people who had shorted below the wash line would be feeling very painful right now. Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look at another example here. Okay. For example, this is a green tick, okay, which means that this green tick here, so this would be your rinse bar. There must be a wash bar around there. Okay, so with TAW 3.0, what it does is that it draws these short little guidelines. Okay, so see that as your graph paper. So all these markers to help you. So short little guidelines here, and then you see this. For example, this is a bit of a magenta color lines. So here, this one here. So short little lines here. All right, you drew that and it tells you, for example, that this is your wash bar because price closed below, all right, the previous low. And instead of staying staying below that wash line, all right, it actually flipped the other side and it resulted in the rinse bar to happen. Okay, all right. So this is basically the meaning of wash and rinse and how to interpret all these arrows or ticks in a day chart. All right. So when you see arrows and ticks, it merely tells you that there is a wash and rinse. Okay. And all these lines that's being drawn is like guideline that can show very carefully. All right. Your support resistance. Okay. How about the one in the middle? The one in the middle, the one with red tick. This one? Red color is bearish. It just say it's bearish. And there is a wash and rinse that shows bearish. And probably you can't see with your naked eyes that is wash and rinse. In fact, that this is the rinse bar here. All right, so this one here, this candle here, okay, it's the wash bar because price had a slight close above it. Your eyes might skip, but not this indicator because it's calculated. It won't lie. Okay, if you see it, it's that. Okay. Okay. So when you move to the week, right? You would find that all these guidelines, okay, this short little guidelines, okay, they are being drawn magically for you very nicely, and it gives you that visual impact, okay, that visual existence. So for example, Euro Kiwi had a buy signal yesterday. All right, and why would you want to be considering a buy? All right, isn't that the day before is a down? All right, but if you flip that to the higher time frame, you realize that, you know, the indicator drew this lines here. So these are lines here, right? Okay, that guides you to conclude it is a support level. This is being supported. All right, and it helps you because then it helps you to understand, oh yeah, it was being supported here, all right? And then this white color bar close up, okay? And then price has been actually hovering here, supported. Okay, so all these are guidelines, okay, that's being automatically drawn. So they would mean either a support or resistance line. Okay, don't ask me what they are. Okay, I probably cannot remember what I put inside the code. Okay, but anyway, they are all very important levels. I have to look through the codes then I understand. But just it's not important to know what they are with each colors. They're just very important support resistance lines. Okay, and it gives you that visual impact to conclude. You want to consider a potential long, okay, a potential buy. All right. Okay. So when you do your trade, you always go and flip to the day time frame first. Okay, I repeat, if there is one time frame that you need to look first, and it's always the day time frame. Okay, you always go to the day and always ask yourself, what do you want to do here? All right. Okay. Now, when you go to the day time frame, you realize that I have this line here, and this line here is the wash line. Okay, you see that this is the weak wash line, green color. Okay, now, so let me just explain what wash line are. Okay, in fact, that after you know the wash line, you realize, hey, look, TAW is very flexible. It's very powerful because with just one wash line, you can almost conclude many things already. All right. Now, the key thing is that we are trading on a multiple time frame. That means that in the day time frame, we are looking at one time frame higher, which is the week. In the week time frame, we are looking at one time frame higher, which is the month. Okay. So therefore, in a 4-hour time frame, we are looking at one time frame higher, which is the day. Okay, so we are always looking at the current time frame, what happened in one time frame higher. Okay, in other words, all right, in order for us to make a lot of money, we are always trading on the higher time frame. Okay, now if you have a look in this one here, see the wash line as a separator. Okay, see the wash line as a separator. All right, now if this is a green wash line, so let me just change my color. If this is a green wash line, wait. So if this is a green wash line, all right, if price is above, okay, this wash line here, that means that if price had closed above, let me just draw this one here. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this is a candle. All right, now next candle, price actually closed higher than the previous high, right? Okay. Now, what this indicator will do, which is called MTF, it will draw a wash line as long as if something closed above something. Okay, so it will draw a green wash line here. All right. Now, then when would be the magenta wash line be drawn? As long as you have this candle here and something close below the previous bar, it will draw a magenta wash line. So this is the logic behind the wash line. Okay, now next, see the wash line as a separator. Okay, now why do I say it is not a support resistance but a separator? It separates between a bull and a bear. Okay, so the logic is very simple. If price continue to be above the wash line, okay, that means, for example, all right, if price continue to go and trade above this wash line, above it, right, then the price movement here will continue to be bullish. Okay, now likewise, if price continue to be below the wash line, then it will continue to be bearish. Okay, can get the idea? Now, a wash and rinse will only happen if price doesn't continue to stay below or above the wash line. So for example, a wash and rinse will happen in this case here if price moves above the wash line. So therefore, the wash line is a separator. Okay, okay. Now with this understanding, yes, it will be recorded and recording will be given to you. Now with this understanding, what the system attempt to do is that it attempt to let you know in a day time frame what happened in the week. So when you see a green color wash line, what does it mean? It means that in the higher time frame, right? Okay, there was a price that closed above the previous high. Okay, when you see a green line being drawn here, so that's the basis. Okay, because green line is supposed to be where price close above something that is being drawn, right? Okay, now if you don't understand what I'm talking about, then I will show you in terms of the week. Okay, so remember this wash line, the number is 1.6884. Okay, I go to the week. Yeah, you realize what happened? This white candle here, okay, it closed above the previous high. I'm just going to mark this and then show you the price level is about 1.6884 plus minus around there. Okay, it means that in the week, right, there was a close above the previous high. Okay, so rather than to flip to the week to see it, what we can do is we go to the day, and that similar wash line is being automatically drawn for you here. Okay, now in other words, if I visualize the price action, it means that there was a close, all right, of that weekly bar above the previous high. So there could be one bar here, and then the other bar had a close above it. And therefore, let me just ask you, this action here. So this action is more like, oh yeah, after price had a bullish move. Okay, so this green color, this downward movement just means that price moved to a low point for me to buy. Okay, so this green color wash line is a separator. Okay, as long as price is above it, all right, then you are looking for a potential buy. Okay, can? So that's the different time frame here. So in the higher time frame, all right, because we see a green line here and price had already been trading above it, a separator. So anything that's above this green line, anything that's here, all right, so this is the bullish state. Okay, now anything that's below it, this part here, all right, below the green wash line is going to be bearish. So see that as a separator. Okay? Okay. Likewise, right, let's say for example, if I have a magenta line here, magenta weak wash line, okay, anything that's below it is going to be bullish or bearish. Yeah, anything that's below it is going to be bearish. Anything that's above it is going to be a wash and rinse. Okay, all right. So let's say for example, if price go up, but still below the weak wash line, the weak magenta wash line. So can I ask you, is this up, bullish or bearish? It's still bearish because it's just going higher for me to sell at the high. Okay. Now likewise, for example, so this is a, just clean this one. Okay, likewise, for example, so this is a green wash line. This is a green wash line here, right? Okay, now anything that's above it, is it bullish or bearish? Bullish, right? Okay, so then when price goes down like that, down, without closing below it, then the downward movement just means what? Oh, it is coming lower for me to buy. Okay? All right? Okay. Then with this knowledge here, all All right, so what happened is that we formulate a trade. So, when I go to the day chart, and day is the only time frame that you need to start first, okay? That means that when you see any trade, right, the first thing that you do is to go to the day time frame. And day is the only time frame that I want to start first, okay? And because when you go to the day, you realize that, oh yeah, when price had a buy signal, and that buy signal was somewhere around here, okay? All right, basically price was still at above the week watch, just above, it's still in the bullish zone. All right, okay. Then what we do is that then we cascade one time frame lower. Okay, so we start in the day, we make this conclusion, we cascade one time frame lower, we go to the H4, and that's when, all right, the dashboard would alert us. Okay, the dashboard would give us an alert. Okay, all right. Now, what is all these boxes here that you see? All these, squarish, rectangularish, boxes that you see here. Okay, they are actually a day candle. Okay, meaning that, let's say if I were to draw an outline, like this outline here, and like that. Okay, so this is a day candle. Why do I know it's a day candle? Because if you count the number of candles inside the rectangle, you realize that every rectangle, right, will have 6 candles. Okay, because why? Because 24 hours is equal to 4 times 6, 4 hour bar times 6. All right. Then that means it is a 24 hours in each box there. All right. Okay. Then how about this shaded portion? This shaded portion would be the body of the candle. So without switching to the day chart, you'll be able to see from all these boxes, right, very clearly the body and the high and low of the candles. Okay, so that's the purpose of the boxes. Okay, now the second thing of the boxes is that by drawing in the boxes, you can see the support resistance very easily. Somehow it helps you to see support and resistance very clearly. Okay, let me just choose probably an easier example. Okay, easier example, huh? All right. This is euro already. Okay, and my screen is ugly, right? Okay. You see all this horizontal. Let me just mark that down for you. Okay, these are the boxes high, like that. Okay, with this you can sort of visualize there's a whole chunk of a resistance around here. Can you see that? Can? All right, so if you just flip them and then to just make it into a tighter view, okay, and you can see that support resistance having a bit of a resistance here, okay, and then the low of the boxes here, and that's the support, and then move there, and that's the support, become a support, and right now becomes a resistance. All right, okay, so the boxes tells you very easily this is a support resistance. Now, not only that, it tells you, all right, whether this support resistance is strong or not strong. It helps you to quantify the support and resistance. Okay, I just want to probably just make my boxes a little bit clearer to you to illustrate. Just give me a minute, because I also don't know which one is which one, which color is which color. Oh, no, wrong. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. You can see so much clearer right now. Okay, now take a look at this bar here. This one. take a look at this bar here. So this one here, right? Okay, price closed above how many boxes high? Can somebody count for you, for me? Now, when I say boxes high, right, I mean this high, high, something like that, that cluster together. Or maybe you want to say, okay, high, around here. Okay, so when this closed above, okay, then this particular close above how many boxes high. Now, why is this important? It's the same story as chopstick. When you have one chopstick, it's easy to bend, isn't it? When you have 10 chopstick, it's not that easy to bend. Okay, so therefore, when you have this bar that close above 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or even 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boxes. Okay, and bear in mind that one box is equal to 1 day. When you have price closed above 11-day high, okay, 11-day high. So this close should be bullish, isn't it? All right. Okay, so with the boxes, we are able to quantify a certain movement. Not only that, we say things like, oh yeah, it closed above a support or resistance. We want to have a value add. We say that it closed above 11-day high. Okay, all right, so let me just give you another one more example here. Okay, now in your template, we've installed the quarter boxes. That means every one box is a quarter. See? Okay, so this one is a quarter. All right, so this is 1/4 here, and then the other one is a quarter here. Okay, so let's say purely for euro. All right, this is a quarter high. Okay, so this one is a quarter high. See that? Okay, now look back a little bit. So this is a quarter low. Okay. Now, so price went up here. Okay. And therefore, you can tell a story. Oh, price went up. Okay, because price had a breakout of 1, 2 quarter high. Okay, it was a quarter low and a quarter high. But right now, price actually closed below it, right? Okay, so then you can say that this is a wash and rinse of 2 quarter boxes, 2 quarter. So instead of saying that, oh yeah, this is a support and a resistance level, we are able to say, oh yeah, this is a breakout, or this is a support resistance of so many quarter or so many boxes high low. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at dollar versus Sing. Okay, so this is dollar versus Sing. All right, and price moved up. So we can just look at the past. Okay, like this one here. Okay, here we go. Better view, right? Okay, now there is a support here. Okay, there is a support here, right? Can anybody tell me this support, is it strong or not strong? Okay, this is the weekly chart. Every one box is a quarter. Okay, so you know that, you think that it is strong. So you can say, okay, I draw in a horizontal line here and I come with a strong level. Okay, but that's not enough. Okay, to me, I need you to be convinced. Okay, and you say, okay, fine. Mathematically, all right, so this is a strong price level, because this strong level is made up by how many quarter low? 1, 2, 3, plus minus around there, 4, 5, 6, or maybe 7, or 7 quarter low. Okay, made up this particular support level. All right. Okay, so this is the purpose of the boxes. Okay, all right, to give you that support resistance level. Okay, any question here so far? Okay, no question. Let me just continue on. So we were in Euro Kiwi just now. Okay, so go to Euro Kiwi. Usually I said, we just stick to day, right? Okay, but it will be good, for example, to go into the week and try to justify why you want to go for this buy signal. Okay, so one of the reason is because if you look left and you realize the boxes can tell that support resistance very easily. Okay, look left, you find things like, oh yeah, it's near to the quarter high. It's near to another quarter high. So you draw the level roughly. Oh yes, it hit a quarter support. Another one more quarter support. Oh yes, I have 2 quarter support to support this as a possible support level. All right. So for support resistance, it is good to use 2 things. One, go to the day chart. All right, to look at all these short little lines automatically drawn for you. Okay, it's visually you will see them. All right. Next is to go to the weekly chart and see the quarter boxes. Okay, so that's basically the 2 steps you need to do. All right. Go to the day to see all these lines drawn from you, and go to the weekly boxes or weekly chart to see the quarter boxes. Okay. All right. You don't go and look for support resistance too far away. Okay, because H4 is really for us to do the trigger. Right. So that's how we use the auto boxes. Okay, so let's go back into here. Now the other use of auto box is to let you see easily the opening bar. Okay, why is opening bar important? A lot of people didn't know. All right, but when you start to trade into the more sophisticated market, right? And then when you have exposure into how the world finance really work, you realize that the world, right, because it's round, okay, trading happens all around the clock. But essentially, if you take a look at the first market that opens, financial markets, right, then it will be Australia, New Zealand. Okay, so that's really the first market that opens, followed by Japan, followed by Asia, of course, with China and Hong Kong, and then after that followed by the close of Australia, close of Japan, and the close of Asia. But along the way, at about 3+, we have the start of European trading hours. Okay, we have the Europe coming in, and after Europe, then what do we have? We have things like the US. Okay, so essentially the world, if you look at that, it's being broken into 3 parts. One would be Asia, this side, then the other one would be Europe, and then the next would be the US. Okay, 3 parts. Of course, we have, for example, the Middle Eastern, blah blah blah. Okay, but that's just to round it up. Now, when you are able to break up the method systematically in different time zone, it helps you a lot to understand what happened in each of the time zone. Okay, so for example, with the boxes, you're able to identify the opening bar easily. Okay, the one that happens at the vertical line, the dotted line, right? Okay, the bar that intersect with the dotted line of the box, the vertical line, right, is your opening bar. So what is the opening bar? It's the first bar of the day. Okay, now why is it that we need to know the first bar of the day? Because you have to understand the world financial, the financial world, right? So let's say, for example, the US trading stop, right? Then the US would have its own movement, and the US books, right, has to be handed over to the Asia region. So who is the first market to go and receive that Asia book, the US books? And that's your New Zealand and Australia, for example. All right. Now, in human behavior, right, when no change is actually a good thing. Why? Because no change means that I don't need to do anything. So in prices, okay, when there's no change, it essentially means stability. Okay, you don't have news to affect. You don't have like some countries waging a war, or don't have any data to affect any of the price movement. Okay, so people would want to have this stability, better no change. But if there's change, it means that something happened. All right, so when the books are being passed, you assume that no change is good. All right, but if there's changes in terms of the prices, then something had happened. Okay, so the first bar of the day is your opening bar. All right, and because this is the time H4 time frame here, so the first bar of the day is your H4 opening bar. Okay, so this is your H4 opening bar, which I'm just going to draw that as 1. Okay, did I always do 1 or was you? I forgot already. Suddenly I forgot what's my behavior. Okay, so I'm just going to do 1 here. Just change the color. Okay, so this is 1. Okay, I'm always going to mark the opening bar as 1. All right, so this is the opening bar. The one that is at the vertical line, the dotted line, right, is actually 1. So this is the opening bar. Okay, and then this one is your opening bar. All right, now if you if you move that opening bar idea, all right, to look into a day candle. I'm talking about day candle, right? Day candle. Okay, so this is a candle here, which is a day, right? Now, how do I know that this particular day candle is going to be bullish or bearish? How do I know that it's going to be bullish or bearish, right? Because the calculation of this day candle, whether it's bullish or bearish, all right, is to look into 2 things. One is to look into the opening price, and the other one is to look into the closing price. Okay, meaning that if price right now is higher than the opening price, that means this particular day candle is going to be bullish. Okay, I repeat this statement here, right? If I have the opening price at the low side here, now if any of the closing price is going to be higher than the opening price, then this particular day candle would be bullish. All right, so that's a bull here. Okay, now then the other one, right? How do I know that this is going to be a bearish candle? Okay, same thing. If the closing price is actually lower than the opening price. Okay, so in other words, you want to trade a bull or a bear, right? Very much it depends on the opening price. Correct? Okay. All right. So why are we concerned about the opening price? Because if we want to trade inside a day, all right, then as long as any of the candle or any of the price is higher than the opening price, then that should be a bullish candle. Okay. Now, if any of the price is actually lower than the opening price, that should be a bearish candle. Okay. Right. Now, so for our method is we are concerned about the opening price. When the subsequent candle is higher than the opening price, let's say for example, if this is the opening bar. All right. Now, this candle number 3 is higher than the opening bar high. Okay, we call this a OBH. It's higher than the opening bar high. Then this movement here is going to be bullish. All right. Now, for example, this one here, this is the opening bar. Okay. Now, I draw number 2. Is 2 lower than the opening bar? The answer is no. Okay. Now, you draw number 3. Is 3 lower than the opening bar? The answer is no. Okay. You do number 4. Okay. Is 4 lower? No. Is 5 lower than the opening bar? The answer is no. Okay, it's only number 6 here that goes lower than the opening bar. All right, so when price is lower than the opening bar low, we call this a OBL, and then these will result in a bearish candle. So basically, opening bar is very important for us. Okay, so it gives us that switch, right, between a bullish and a bearish mode. Okay, so therefore, in terms of TAW trigger, all right, it is very, very easy. Okay, we color code that. We say that if you have a magenta line, all right, if you have a magenta line, then you'll be looking for a buy. Okay, now if you have a green line, you'll be looking for a sell. Okay, so you have to remember this. Okay, it's a bit of a color code. Now, why is that so? Does it contradict with what I said just now? I said before that, for example, if it's above the green, it's actually bullish. Okay, if it's below the magenta line, it's actually bearish. It doesn't contradict. Okay, because why? In order for you to buy, you want to buy low. Okay, you want to buy low, so price has to come down, 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 down below the magenta line. You have to buy low, right? Okay, down, down. Now, if you don't have price coming down to close below a previous low, for example, you won't have the magenta line being drawn. Okay, so only when you have the magenta line, then you know that price actually break low. You get that idea here? Only when price break low, then you have the magenta line. And only when it breaks low, then you are interested to buy, because you're interested to buy at the low. Okay? All right. So, but then where does your buy signal comes in? Your buy signal comes in when price cannot continue to move lower. It can't go lower anymore. It means that instead of it going lower, it actually closes up, and that becomes your buy signal. So we are talking the whole chunk here being your wash and reads. Okay. So therefore, when price is below the magenta line, it is bearish. But our buy opportunity comes in when price no longer stay below the magenta line. Instead, it moved above, and that becomes our buy signal. Okay, so therefore, all right, when you see a magenta line, it is a buy. We are looking for a buy. Okay, when you see a green line, we are looking for a sell. All right, and we always use the most recent line. Okay, meaning that there are so many lines being drawn here. Right now, what is important to Euro Kiwi, all right, as the most recent line, is it the magenta or is it the green line? My question to you. Okay, we always use the most recent line. So for example, for Euro Kiwi right now, okay, is it the magenta line or is it the green line that's most recent? The time that's being shown here is not Singapore time. Okay, so we use the boxes to help you to identify the time. Okay, is the green line? Yes, correct. Why? Because you see, the magenta line was being drawn here. Okay, whereas the green line, the starting point is being drawn here. So where is the starting point? All right, shows you where is the most recent line. The starting point is here for the green line, and the starting point is here. So therefore, the green line is the more recent line. Okay, all right. So which essentially means that the buy signal had already happened yesterday, and then when price goes up, it will create a green line. Okay. Now, so let's talk about a buy signal here. Now, how to formulate a buy? We are looking for a magenta line. So that's number one. Okay. Now, how does the magenta line form? Okay, the magenta line forms when price had a close below the previous low. So that is something that you read and you know. So for example, when you have a price low here, and when price actually closed below the previous low, the magenta line, the MAC wash line would be, my pen is too thick, right? MWL, MAC wash line will be drawn like this one here. Okay, then where was the close? Very simple. You see this bar here? There was a slight close below the previous low. Okay, slight close. Therefore, that's where a magenta line is being drawn. Okay, so as long as price continue to stay below the magenta line, fine, you will do nothing. Okay, so what happens if price don't stay below the magenta line? That's where we have an opportunity. Okay, but we don't trade at the first candle. Let me just change this. Just give me a minute. We don't trade at the opening bar. So I'm going to mark this one here, which is called the opening bar. No. What we do is that we will use the opening bar as a basis. Okay. And we trade on the second, third, fourth, or the fifth bar. And not the sixth bar. So the opening bar, we don't trade. One, we don't trade. The last bar, we don't trade. Okay, now when this happens, it means that what we need to do is that we need to identify whether number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 had a closed above the opening bar high. Okay, so this is the opening bar high. Okay, if it has, then we can place in the order at the closed at the end of number 2. Okay, so basically it goes like this. First, you need to have a MAC line. MAC line. Okay. All right. Then you need to look at opening bar high, OBH. Okay. And if price is more than OBH, okay, you have a MAC line. Okay, more than the MAC line, more than OBH, and this becomes a buy. So it is that easy. Okay? That means that you have to remember bar is going to make line, opening bar don't trade, and you look at the second, third, fourth, and the fifth. As long as second, third, fourth, and fifth, right, is above the opening bar, then you can enter already. All right. Now, why not on the last bar? The last bar, remember, I told you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, that's where the spread is very wide and everybody is sleeping. Then why trade? We will sleep. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about the number 2 bar. Okay, now, the opening bar has a fixed time depending on daylight saving. Currently, the opening bar is right now starts at 6 a.m. Singapore time to 10 a.m. Singapore time. So this is OB, opening bar. All right. Then the number 2 bar is 10. All right. Should be 10:01. That means one tick after 10. Okay. But then I just label that as 10. And 10 to 2 p.m. because every bar is 4 hours. Now, which means that if you are trading TAW, your first signal that might come into you at this daylight saving is at 2 p.m. So you will expect 2 p.m. there might be a signal. If 2 p.m. don't have, then you will have to wait until what time? Okay, the third bar, which is 2 to 6 p.m. Okay, which means that at 6 p.m. you should be expecting a signal. All right. Then next, if 6 p.m. don't have, then what time? The fourth bar, 6 to 10. Okay, the time now is 9:58. That means if there's a signal, then 2 minutes later, it should pop up on my screen. Okay, that's why I'm actually rushing a little bit. All right, then fifth bar, what time is it? 10 to 2 a.m. Okay, and that's it. No more signal already. 6 a.m. it won't show any signal, but 6 a.m. Telegram would bang bang bang. It would tell you which pair has a wash and rinse on the day close. All right. Okay. So with this bar here, that means with these boxes and this bar, right? Because the opening bar is number 1. Now number 2, closed above the magenta line, closed above the opening bar high. Therefore, number 2, right? Okay, at 2 p.m., we had a signal in Euro Kiwi. Okay, so our buy happens around here. All right. Okay, don't need to wait for the second bar to close. Yes, you need to wait for the second bar to close. You need to wait for the second bar to close, and therefore the second bar will close at 2 p.m. All right, now, right now, this one here, right? Very easy. This is the first bar, second bar, third bar. Look at the time. Time is approaching 10. So therefore, we are on the fourth bar. Okay. Now, I need you to remember 2, 6, 10 because these are the timing of each 4 hours. When daylight saving ends, we move to the summer season, then it's 1, 5, 9. So it's always 2, 6, 4, 2, 6, 10, 2, or 1, 5, 9, 1. Okay, so these are the 4 numbers that you have to remember. All right. Okay. Now, whenever there's a signal that happens, then it will be shown in the dashboard. So this is the dashboard here. See, 10 o'clock happens, right? It pop up, right? pound cat H4 close. Now, where did this signal comes from? This signal just came in, all right, and came from the dashboard. That means once you have the dashboard, it will show you the signal. Okay, so let me just show it to you right now here. See this one here? Pound cat H4 close is below day 1 watch at what time? Now, this is a server time, okay, but you know that this one will be 10 o'clock. Now, when you tally back to the dashboard, all right, you can see pound cat sell. This is the watch line, all right, but 6 hours ago, it had already given you a warning, okay, but now, okay, it shows a H4 close, all right. So how to use the dashboard? The dashboard, when it pop up, right, it tells you the signal that happens recently, okay. Now, right now, your clock time is 10:01, right? You realize that this one changed to 0.01, right? What this means was that a signal happened 1 minute ago. Okay, what was that signal? It was a pound cat. What was the signal? It was a sell. Okay, now what does this mean here? Pound franc sell 401. What does this mean? It means that 4 hours and 1 minute ago. And what time was that? The last H4 bar was a 6 p.m. bar, right? Singapore time 6 p.m. It means that 4 hours ago at 6 p.m., there was a sell trigger for pound franc. Can you see that? Okay. Now, then what is this one here? 801. What does it mean? It means that 8 hours ago. So what's 8 hours ago? At 2 p.m., there was a sell signal, sell trigger for Aussie versus the dollar. All right? Can? Then, why is it this one here showing 7 then? How come it's not 8, it's not 4? Why is it 7? Because different instruments have different 4-hour bar because they have different starting time. Okay, so therefore, there's different in terms of that hourly. So for FX, it's very clear. 2, 6, 10, 2. But for oil, then it's slightly different. For index, it's slightly different. Right? So you have to remember all this. So for example, for oil, right? It's 1 hour later. So the H4 close for oil, it's at 11 p.m. Okay, so it goes like 7, 11. So it's 3, 7, 11. Okay, so different time. Every 4 hours. H1 is every 1 hour, yes. So the H1 signal here is like a warning. It tells you that, oh yeah, potential pound dollar happened 7 hours ago, but 4 hours ago, it had that H4 close. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's check out pound cat. Let's take a look at pound cat here. Okay, now this is pound cat. You know, when you come to pound cat, right? The problem is, wow, so many lines here. Oh yeah, you see so many lines is very confusing, isn't it? So try not to put too many lines until your eyes are used to it. Okay, but you know, I can easily know that the most recent line is this one, this one here. Okay, the most recent line. Okay, all right, because that's drawn to the rightmost of the screen. Okay, what you can do is you can actually remove this line but then when you switch time frame you will come back again. Okay, but anyway, just for illustration's sake I just remove this. Okay, so the most recent line is this one here. Okay, so let's check. Okay, is there a green line? Yes, therefore pound cat is equal to sell. All right, is there a H4 bar that closed below the opening bar here? Yes, the answer is yes. Let me just draw that for you. So this is the opening bar. So this is bar number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, so opening bar low. All right. Now, why didn't the signal happen at number 3? Why didn't the signal happen at number 3? Why? That's because number 3 didn't close below the green line because we need both to happen. All right. So did 4 close below the green line? The answer is yes. Did 4 close below the opening bar low? The answer is yes. Therefore, the alert came at 4. All right, but is this good trade? Because you realize that if you have the dashboard, at one glance you know that there was an earlier signal for pound dollar and pound franc that happens 4 hours ago. Probably the signal came earlier for the other pairs. Okay, so we can also check out the other pairs. So with the dashboard, it becomes very easy for you to identify trade. You don't really need to look for them. They come looking for you, right? So let's take a look. So this one is not the most recent one because it's not the right most. This one is also not the most recent one. Okay, so I just delete for you to so to see it easily, right? Not the right most, delete that. So this is the most recent line here, and the most recent line, is very clear. It's a green or is a MAC. It's a green color bar. Yes, right? Correct? Green, right? Green color wash line. Okay, then we ask ourselves, where is the opening bar? Very easy. Look at the dotted line. So this is the opening bar. So it's the opening bar. So it's bar number 1 here. This one, number 2. Is there a signal at number 2? Yes or no? Number 2, closing price is 2 p.m. Why no? Because number 2 is below the opening bar low. Okay, number 2 is below the green line. But if you have read the course material, it says that there must be a significant close. It must close significantly below the wash line and the opening bar. So while on observation, number 2 seems to have, but in reality, it doesn't appear on the dashboard, means don't have. So in other words, actually, the dashboard gives you the signal already. That means that you don't even, to put it bluntly, you don't even need to know whether it's the valid, correct signal or not. All right? Because with the dashboard, it just gives it to you. It tells you that this is it. That's the signal. That's it. It tells you. Okay? So your task is to go and trade it. Can you understand that? Because I know that, but I know that when you learn many things, right? But when you judge, your judgment is different. And then how do you know whether this is a significant close? You have to go and press a calculator when you're working. That's really a waste of time. Okay? But it doesn't remove the need for you to briefly understand. Okay, so we build all these tools, okay? I build all these tools for you to have convenience. All right, so that you can actually trade that. So the signal, all right, happens at number 3, which is 6 p.m. here. And the price had already moved. Don't ask me whether can enter or not. I can only tell you the price had already moved. All right, you wait for the next chance. Okay, because there's always the next signal coming up for you. All right, Ken? Okay, so that's how the dashboard works. All right, so for example, if you track back the dashboard, it doesn't lie. The only thing is that it will refresh every day, because when every day, right, when a new day starts, a new wash line starts, right, all these numbers will disappear because then it's being refreshed, because it's always monitoring new trade for you. Okay, so for example, 8 hours ago at 2 p.m., there was a sell signal in Aussie dollar. So let's take a look at Aussie dollar, for example. So which one is the most recent line? Is it the green line or is it the MAC line? Actually, you don't need to know, because then the dashboard would have already given you it's the green line because it's a sell. Okay, it's all here. It's a green line. So it's actually coded for you already. So the most recent line is a green line. And what price is the wash line that's relevant? You go to the dashboard, is 6973. So if you do not know, identify 6973, and that's here. So the rest of the lines are not important. You might want to delete them. Okay, a lot of seniors, they are so used to it already. Yeah, their eyes will automatically skip that. Okay, so that's the green line. Okay, and then which one is the opening bar? The opening bar is the one that's at the dotted line. So this is the opening bar. And then which one is the trigger? Number 2. Okay, did number 2 meet the rule? Actually, you don't need to know, because the dashboard already tells you it met the rule. Therefore, it shows the dashboard rule signal. Okay, so what you have to do is just to decide whether you want to trade that or not. All right. Now, some of you perhaps say, I don't want to wait for the signal because, by the time I wait for the signal, I finish my job. And by the time I put in, it's always very late already. All right. But don't forget, okay, the lines here, the green lines are drawn at 6:01 a.m. Okay, 6:01 a.m. All right. So you can flip through your chart. If you see a green line, you can drag alum in for it to automatically trigger for you a trade. So that's the usefulness of alum. And that's the reason why we color code. Let's say, for example, all right, you see this one. This one was a clear close above. So there should be a green line over here, green line. Okay, all right. And you say, okay, it is shot up and it hit a resistance here. Okay, because there's a resistance here, right? What I do is I just take my time to drag alum in. And when there's a signal, when it open for me, you open for me here. Okay, that's it. That's what you need to do. Okay, all right. So as you go into extra lessons, you will know how to use alum. Okay, I won't be covering too much today. All right, because there's limited things I can cover in a 2.5 hour session. Right. So what I needed you to do is to use the dashboard. Okay, and to know that at least this is the opening bar, this is the trigger bar. All right, and there's a signal that happens, and for you to filter a little bit about the signal. Okay, what do I mean by filter? This one is something that you will learn as you move into all the weekly webinars. All right, but basically what we needed to do is we need to know that, for example, at least this particular trade, we are trading with the trend, okay, or we are trading on a strong level, okay, or that particular signal has, for example, a divergent signal. All these will be covered in your course material and as well as a revision. So for example, what you have to do is the first thing that you do, right, is to go to the day chart. Okay, you go to the day chart, you go to the day, right? Okay, you go to the day and you look. That's all you need to do. Okay, so what will be the things you need to look? You need to ask yourself, okay, if there's a sell signal that's happening right now, all right, is the sell signal near to a strong level, near to a strong resistance level? For Aussie, it's not that obvious, but you do see, for example, the magenta line coming in. Okay, when does the magenta line happens? It means that there was a close below the previous low. I think that by showing you, for example, pound dollar is a little bit more obvious. Okay, so what happened to pound was that price moved down. So that was that down here. Okay, it moved down, right? Okay, and you see this wash line here. All right, so this one as a magenta wash line. So see this as a separator. Okay, this is the separator here. Now anything that's below it, okay, is going to be bearish, right? Bearish. Okay, bear. Below it. Anything that's above it is going to be bullish. Okay, so when price moves up, here, hit to that magenta line, okay, it is just merely telling us that it is going higher for us to sell. Okay, so pound dollar was very clear sell trade. All right, then what do we have here? So this one here, we have price close above the previous high. So let me just draw in the green line. Okay, close above the previous high, right? But still being resisted. Okay, and what happened? Instead of staying above the green line, it actually comes back down. All right. Okay, now rather than to wait for the day to close, here, what we do is that we break the day. This is a day, right? One day. We break it into 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like PSLE, you draw the blocks here. Okay. So the first part here, number 1, is the opening bar. Okay. We trade at number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, and number 6, we go to sleep. That's all. Okay. You only look for 4 opportunities in a day, right? And then to trade that, right, what you do is that you should be drawing in a wash line here. Okay, so this is the wash line, but I don't like to draw lines. So everything is automated, okay, because I don't want ambiguity. Right, when you go to the H4, you realize that the wash line, this one here, right, is being drawn for you. Okay, it's all drawn nicely for you. All right, so this is the wash line that you are interested in. Okay, so this particular wash line, right? Okay, so that's drawn. Okay, but you also would know that there's a clear wash line here. Okay, and you receive the dashboard alert at 6 p.m. and then this one here, and you go and trade it because it's a very strong resistance level. All right. Okay. Does the week wash at 12248 indicate support? 12248, 12248, 12248, 12262. No, 12248. No. What it means is that because this is a green line, right? So what is the meaning of the green line? Green line means that somewhere around here, price broke above this green line. Okay, around here, price broke above the green line. And basically that's bullish already, bullish. Okay, but somewhere around here, it actually closed below it. So it means that this whole portion is a massive wash and rinse. Okay, whoever bulls who bought in failed because it actually moved down. Okay, now when you have this magenta line coming in, all right, what this means is that price entered the bearish region, and as long as price never closed above it, the whole chunk is still bearish. Okay, now you have to realize what TAW is, right? It's a different way of visualizing and thinking. Okay, it is not the traditional way. It's not something that you can find in any technical analysis book. Okay, it's a different way of visualizing. That's why a lot of people struggle with, because it's contrarian. Why? Because the normal way of thinking is that when price goes higher, you continue to buy high. Okay, but not TAW. TAW says that if you are in the bullish region, you wait for price to come down to buy low. Okay, now if you are in the bearish region, you wait for price to go up to sell high. So that is a contrarian mindset here. All right. Okay, so it takes time to get used to it, but when you get used to it, you understand how it goes. All right, so it's not, I wouldn't say trading is easy. If it's easy, right, you won't be moving from trainers to trainer. Okay, I would think that you need the experience. You need the experience to say that, okay, I must wait for that signal to come in and I trade that. All right, so the tools provided here to you is a convenient tool. You don't need to draw any wash line, because to me, if you draw the wash line, there's a high chance that you will be wrong. Okay, I draw that for you already. Do you need to draw the boxes? No, because there's a high chance you get your opening bar wrong. So I draw that for you. Okay. How about knowing the signal? Okay, you can study all that, but to me, let me just send you the signal. That will be correct. All right, so that's the whole idea behind. Okay, therefore, the next thing is for it to automatically execute for you. Okay, but it's not, but the tools that I'm creating is not one that keep on firing for you and then you will do nothing. Okay, trust me, this methodology doesn't work, right? Other people might sell you and say, hey, look, this robot will keep trading and make money for you, right? But eventually one fine day, it will just wipe out everything. Okay, so what it does here is that Alom is a trade manager. Okay, so let's say, for example, if you receive a signal, all right, say, I receive a signal on Pound Cat just now. I want to trade it. Okay, so instead of you clicking the button yourself, okay, what you can do is you take Alom. Where is it? Okay, here you go. You know, Alom, right? and then drag in, and then it will trade for you. Okay, I'm just going to drag this version in because the other version has expired. Okay, so this is Alum here. All right. The few things it helps you is first I must go and read the you must go and read the manual, right? The user guide. What it does here is to help you to do the sizing. That means that, let's say for example, I have $2,000 in my account and I only want to use every trade $50. But I don't know what's the size because you're talking that wow, oil has different size, or gold has different size, and FX has different size. What it does here is that you can change the lot size mode to say that I want to risk $50 every trade. Okay, you just key in $50. I want to risk $50 every trade. All right, and I don't want to do all the hard work. I just want Alum to calculate for me. Okay, and I say, okay, after studying the material already, I just don't know where to put the stop loss, where to put the target profit. I just do not know where. At least I don't know where the stop loss is. Okay, so you just put it in and let Alum trade for you. Okay, you open, bang. All right, if it can open the trade, you open the trade. If it cannot open the trade, it doesn't open the trade for you. All right, so it's just somehow you can open the trade, then it opened already. And you have your stop loss all set in for you here. Okay, so just now I have this goal here, and then it put in pound cat. All right, the stop loss set for you, the target profit set for you, and then right now it's actually trading for you, and it calculates the lot size for you automatically. That means with $50 that you have, with the large stop loss, you can only put in 0.02 maximum. Okay, all right. 0.02 maximum. Okay, fine. All right. Now, what it does here is that a lot of you guys, right, when you trade, sometimes you're not around to manage your trade. You're not around to take a partial profit, and you realize that a winning trade initially resulted in a losing trade, a huge loss, right? Okay. And what's the reason? One of the reason is because then you do not know where to manage your trade, where to shift your stop loss, for example. Okay, so Alum has this interim profit target to help you manage the trade, to help you shift the stop loss. Okay, so it is good that you actually put it in, use Alum to put in the trade. Okay, so this is one way to do that. All right. Now let's say for example, if you find that this bar here is too huge, too long, okay, and you don't get a good price basically, right? And you would want to get a better price, all right? So you can use Alum to help you, okay? So if there's a signal, you drag Alum in, all right? Or if you preempt there is a signal, you drag it in so that it can automatically open the trade for you, provided your machine is on, all right? And when you are working, okay, when you're not around. Let's say, for example, this afternoon, I had a meeting at 3 o'clock. By the time I finished everything, all right, it was very late. I need to rush for the 8 o'clock. So I wasn't able to do the 6 o'clock. So what I did, right, is I actually dragged in Alum, all right, at 4 o'clock to preempt a trade of oil, okay, and then just automatically enter for me. Okay. Now, so if you want to use the which is the trade manager part of Alum. That means that to use it to place your trade, you just have to press T on your keyboard and you bring out this particular panel here. Okay, you press T, it disappears. You press this one, you will open this panel here. All right. Okay, so everything, go and look at the user guide. So if you want to close any trade, right, that's being done by Alum, there is this button here to say close all trades. I'm just going to close all the trades here. So when you close them, you see automatically, boom, 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 all close already. Close all the trade. All right. Now, once you close that, you find that your trade cycle is being suspended. Now, why is that so? Because I need you to go and activate that by checking through. You cannot just let it trade for you. It doesn't work this way. Okay, so you have to press the reset button. So when you press the reset button in the trade GUI, okay, and then you find that your trade cycle will become active. Okay, so to know all this function, please go and read the manual. All right, I would definitely schedule days, okay, to train on this. But the first thing to get started is to read the manual. All right. Now, let's say for example, I want to place a limit order. Okay, and I say, hey, I want to place it higher. Okay, and I want to place it here somewhere at 1.6164. Okay, now why do I encourage to use our alum? Because when you do 1.6164, sometimes you go to press the calculator and say, hey, look, what is my lot size, etc. when I want to raise $50. No, with alum, you just have to do one thing. All right, you just have to press the limit order you want to do, 1.6164. Okay, you just press sell limit here. It will automatically go and determine the lot size for you and the stop loss. Okay, such that your trade will result in a $50 loss. So therefore, you don't need to do a lot of calculation yourself. Okay, so it's more like very easy. So right now, I want to trade pound cat. All right, because then there's a signal coming in. But because the earlier signal was pound dollar and pound franc, and they all move already, and I'm not too comfortable to do it right now. All right, I place the limit order there. All right, by doing only one simple task, key in the price that you want to sell. The rest you let alum handle in terms of, for example, where's the stop loss, where's the target profit, and then what is the lot size. I don't even want to care. All right, I just say this particular trade, I only want to make $50 lost, or want to raise $50. Right? When you access the VPS via iPhone, you can't press the TAW. Okay. Now, I don't know what you use to access, but in Microsoft remote desktop, right? There is a place for you to bring out the keyboard on the phone. Okay, and then once you bring out the keyboard, you can press T. All right. So it's more like a technical issue thing that you have to go and explore. Okay, all this must be done on the dashboard. All this must be done on the dashboard. Well, no, I think the question is all this must be done on alum. All right. If you want alum to put in the stop loss for you, put in the target profit, to automatically calculate the lot size for you, then it must be done in alum. Okay. If you manually put the trade into via your phone after you receive an alert, then you have to insert the stop loss and the target profit yourself, lor. Yeah. I tried using Microsoft Desktop, no issue. So I guess that you just have to try a little bit more. Okay, play around with it, huh? Alum will not take the trade on the 6th bar of the day if the sell limit price is reached. No, it won't. How do I know where TAW will place the SL before I place the trade? How to determine when to wait for retracement or when to just plug in TAW for trade? I think I answered this question this question already. For me, right, this trade here for pound cat, because I already took just now the pound dollar and the pound franc, okay, and it happens 4 hours ago. So I see that this pound cat is 4 hours late than the 2 signals. Okay, so with this, I'm not comfortable to take on market order. If I want to do that, I will have to do limit order. So this is usually my guideline. Okay, if price is too far away, or too near to the interim profit target, I will usually do a limit order. Okay. How do I know where TAW will place the SL before I place the trade? Now, TAW will place the SL according to the rules that we've listed down in the handout, okay, in the material. All right. It will follow rules, but there are settings for you to play around with it. For example, under the stop loss buffer mode, okay, you can use the ATR, all right, which basically stick to the rules in our handout, in our training, okay. But if you decided to put a fixed SL buffer, that means that you say, okay, at the opening bar high, all right, you want to decide a different stop loss as a buffer, all right, then you can actually modify it here. Okay, so it's a very flexible expert advisor here for you to play around. So you have to read the manual first, okay, and try it on your demo. This is also the reason why people say my program is tough, okay, because we build so many tools for you. I don't want to go and throw you in the ocean, all right, by giving you a raft. Okay, I prefer to throw you in the ocean by giving you a tanker. Is a tanker or what? Oceaneer, or maybe a Titanic first. Hopefully it doesn't sink. Okay. What I mean is, can I place the Alum auto trade be done on phone easily? Yes, you can. I do that, but you have to remote access into your server. You cannot use your phone. All right. Software to do it. Okay. Does Alum EA2 requires indicator dashboard to be working? No. Alum doesn't need the dashboard to be working. Best in the platform that you use to trade Alum, we recommend that it should be on a clean chart with no other indicators. Okay. You realize that, my chart here, some of them has all this indicator here, but the place that I place Alum, right, has 0 indicator. No indicator, only 1 expert advisor. Okay, we recommend on a clean chart. When the signal at bar 5, do we enter at bar 6 or just skip it? When the signal is at bar 5, end of bar 5, right? It will trade at the start of bar 6. But if it's end of bar 6, it would not trade. Okay, basically, just remember the time. Okay, the time would be a signal will only happen at 2 p.m., 6 p.m., 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Okay, for Binni, it will happen only at 2 p.m., 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. That's it. 2 p.m. I'll be sleeping. If I need to trade, I just drag Alum in. Okay, that's all. Let me just review some of the past questions. I'm actually answering your question right now. There are so many TAW signal triggers. So which one to trade? Good question. You look at this one here. All the Aussies, okay, bang, 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 bang. Here we go. Okay. Now, take a look at the outcome of all these Aussies, okay? I just roughly show you lah, Not it won't happen all the time, See, Aussie dollar. Go to the H4. See, if you have traded the Aussie dollar, you make money now. Aussie cat. If you traded the Aussie cat, you make money already. Aussie franc. You traded Aussie franc, you make money. Okay. Aussie yen. You traded Aussie yen, you make money too, a little bit money. You traded Euro Aussie. On the upside, you also make money. Okay. So therefore, you traded all the Aussies today, you basically make a lot of money. In other words, if this trade bombs out, right? That means the Aussie trade bombs out, you will lose a lot of money today. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is this. Most of the time, I don't think that you can trade all of them. It's not all logical. So out of this 7 or 8 trades that pop in, okay, when you see consistently all of them are all showing Aussie, then you know that this move is likely going to be probably consistent and maybe good. Okay, so that's the first clue. And the second clue is that I don't think you can trade all. So what I did, right, is that in the Telegram group, the chat, right, I posted today, what was the chart that I posted? Was it Aussie dollar? I posted Aussie dollar, I posted OI, and I posted pound dollar or pound franc. Okay, even I cannot remember already. All right, so I probably posted things which I think has a higher probability, but also sometimes or many times I'm actually wrong. Okay, some students can choose a trade better than myself, so not all the time that I choose it correctly. But basically today I think I posted on Aussie dollar. Let me just check. So what was that? What did I post? This one I posted on pound dollar. Okay, and I gave them the justification of why. Oh, here I posted Aussie dollar because of the head and shoulder. And I posted OI. Yeah, so that's the trade I chose. All right. Any other questions? Okay, one more question here. For H1 and H4, you use H4. If I want to try to use Alum for half day, do we still need to connect our computer to VPS? What is for half day? When you want to use Alum, right? You want to manage things, you want to change it, you have to connect your computer. After that, right? After you don't need to change anything already, then you can disconnect your computer from VPS. Your VPS will still be on and running. All right. Okay. Any question to this trading here? To this how everything is set up? So today, the signal went very well, I would say. The only thing that's probably didn't move that much is the oil. Yes, the oil didn't really move that much, right? Otherwise, Aussie and PAW, had quite a nice movement. All right, I think I basically answered all the questions. Okay, if there are other questions that I didn't answer, please type it here. If you want to use Alum, we definitely need VPS. You definitely need a server. So you either need a VPS or you either need a mini PC. Okay. When the grid is launched, all right, I would think you really need one, either a mini PC or VPS, and I strongly recommend VPS. When you get a mini PC, best to leave it running over the weekend. You see, the problem is, right, when you switch off and you on it, right? If you have an EA on your chart, okay, and you off it and you switch on, right, the EA would be restarted. So all the suspension, right, that Alum has will be removed. That's the problem of switching on and off your computer. So therefore, I always answer this question as no, don't switch it off. All right. In fact, I don't switch it off. Right. But for me is that I actually host my EA in a VPS. All right. Are we able to log in remotely VPS from another computer? Yes, you are. The whole idea is you use a remote access to log in. Yeah. So you cannot, because your VPS is in US, you cannot fly to US every time you want to access it, right? Okay, so you have to use a remote access to log in your VPS. Okay. All right, let me just come to the last part of this section here. Every morning, you will receive this Telegram broadcast, okay, if you join the channel. And this one is not for you to, as a signal to trade. It's just to tell you that there's a wash and rinse going on, okay? So it helps you to look for trades easily, all right? This one here, dashboard alerts, is what we are really interested in. Okay, so you want to use and to get that dashboard alerts, right? So when you have a VPS or mini PC, you can use it to host and generate your own dashboard alerts. All right. In the next development, we would be making the dashboard alerts into a Telegram signal so that you don't need to host it on your own. Right, definitely there would be a lot of improvement along the way, right? So for now, the dashboard signal, right? In order to receive that signal, you will need to host it in a mini PC or into a VPS. Okay, so in your VPS, you can have two, in your server, whether it's mini PC or VPS, you can have two MT4. One is to trade into Alum. The other one is for you to put your dashboard and for you to look at your charts. okay, with all the boxes and the wash line, etc. Okay, so just remember as a reminder, Alum, right, has to be housed in a separate MT4, all right, that doesn't contain your indicators or dashboard. Now, why do I want to do that? It's not for resources issue. Is I'm so afraid that, something would mess up, and then it's very difficult if you have so many things running in the background. All right. Okay. So what we are interested in the H4 signal from the dashboard. All right. Now, very important is for you to go to the Facebook group. Now, last time I used to do to put the trades into the Facebook group, but I realized that that's a little bit slow. So I only put in reviews of trades, right, in the Facebook group, and the trade in the Telegram chat. So I find that it's a little bit more faster for myself and for the rest to access. Okay, but important stuff, that's not very time sensitive. You can take your own sweet time to read it. I'll put them into Facebook. Okay, so for example, just as a documentation, April 24th, I say look out for dollar versus CNH at 6.6. If it is above this level, there will be more bloodshed in both China and US market. Okay, now that was my stand at the point of time, and I explain why. Okay, with all this correlation, indeed that from April you realize that things going down. And I also told the student is that when dollar versus CNH is above 7, basically you want to enter the Hong Kong and the Chinese market. You want to look to position to enter that market. All right. So these will be important information that's being housed in the Facebook. So that's all the resources I want to talk about. Okay. Apart from normal trading, like for example, we have the dashboard alerts and then we trade that. Okay. So 3 resources you want to have. One is the Telegram daily broadcast alerts that tells you on the wash and rinse. So that's a good reference. Okay, tell you which trades have a wash and rinse. But you really, really want to have dashboard alerts, which is H4 alerts. And lastly, you want to have that Facebook support. Okay. Now, more importantly, what I need you to do is to be to take that leap, right? To endure all the technical problem. That means, I know that, you find it a little bit hassle to get a mini PC or to start VPS, right? Because then there's too many things. Okay. If you find it so tough, you can get our technical help. Okay. And if you can, just one-time pain and then get over and done with. Really, really, really recommend to use Alum. Okay. All right. Any other questions here? Okay, what's the advice on how to trade during the daytime when we are working in the office, or we should trade in the night after office hour? Okay, now there is no best solution. Everybody wants to have an extra income or some consistent way. All right. Let me just share with you my problem as well. Okay, because when you look at the US market, a lot of people put in the US market trades because then they can do it after work. But when something bomb out, when you have a earnings announcement, or when it's 2 a.m. 3 a.m. you cannot watch the market, then when you wake up also nothing can be done. Okay, and you realize that yes, you do make money when times are good, but when you lose, the money that you lost will be a lot. Now when you are trading into this instrument that requires every 4 hours, all right, you find that at 2 o'clock you might be in a meeting, 6 o'clock you might be on the way back. I also have this problem because my daughter is back at 1:30. By the time she reach home, right, it's 1:40. Sometimes I'm in the office, okay, I'm not home, but sometimes when I'm at home, right, at 2 o'clock she needs to eat and everything. So by the time I can be on my desk, right, so it's almost like 2:30 or 3. Okay. Sometimes I do have meetings and all this stuff, and I have lessons. Okay, so what I usually will do is that because of this green line here, okay, you see this green line here, right? And this green line can be seen here at this particular time. That means that this green line is drawn, right, when this had already happened. Okay, that means you'll be able to see the green line, right, at this bar here. Okay, at the start of this bar. All right. So what I would do is I would drag Alom inside. Okay, because Alom would monitor for me when there's a trigger. And it so happened that for this day, nothing happened because I dragged that in. And I dragged that in when I was back home. Okay, and about, I think, at night. And I waited for a full day here, nothing happened. Only today, then it happened. Okay, so I was able to drag that in when I'm home, all right, after, meeting. And then when I came back and I realized, okay, I can drag that in, I put it in, and I waited for 2 days to happen. Okay, so this is something to share with you, all right? Now, the other one was Aussie. Okay, now, on Tuesday, when I was doing the session on the usual Tuesday session, right? We were talking about dollar. Okay, and my stand on dollar was that dollar is at a support and likely to actually be going up. Okay, but what happened was yesterday on night time, it was really a very nasty up down. You see this very long bar here. Okay, long bar here, right? But because of the boxes, how the boxes move, okay, we are able to see the color. That means that along the way, right now, the day hasn't closed yet, but the orange color is sort of firm. So yesterday, I was able to see that we had a little bit of a blue color, but I'm not too sure whether the blue color will happen. Okay. Then, but whether it continue to go up or not, right? The resistance is clear here. Okay, there was a resistance. Okay, what I basically have to do is to know whether there is going to be a wash and means. But it seems that the blue color tells me probably that price might just close up a little bit. So I was actually waiting for a sell. Then when I woke up in the morning, and that I got up very early. Okay, it's about 5:30. Sometimes 5:20. Okay. So in the morning I will do my exercise, but today I can't because today it was raining, right? It was raining so heavily. So I was actually back home quite early. So that's about 7 plus. Okay. And of course I switched on my computer and I saw that the green color line, the green wash line formed. So I just spent a minute, all right, really a minute to drag Alom in, all right, define how much I want, and it just parked there to wait. Okay. So there is a bit of a sacrifice in terms of timing because you realize the timing gets a little bit weird now when you need to put in a trade at 7 plus. And maybe 7 plus you are preparing to go to work and something else, but I guess that something has to give. Okay. So that's basically what I'm doing. So if I'm off exercise, right, then I'll probably be back on my desk at about 8 plus. And then when I look at the green line, I can drag in only at 8 plus or 9. So if you happen to go to the toilet, okay, and probably you might want to use your handphone or your iPad, right, to just, look at it and monitor. Okay. Yeah. Our definition of auto trade is a little bit different. Basically, auto trade means that I agree to let the EA trade for me. Okay, to let the EA automatically open this trade for me by doing a simple analysis. So what you have to acquire is that you have to acquire, for example, to say that, okay, it's resembling a little bit of like head and shoulder here pattern. And maybe you have to acquire to say that, okay, there is a resistance here and the green lines are coming in. Okay, so the green lines are coming in. All right, I'm actually prepared to do only on the sell side. That is the auto trade. That means you have to put it in, okay, to allow it to trade for you. Yeah. All right. Ken? You will get more understanding as you move deeper into the program. Okay. When you are new, you find that it's difficult because so many things and so many terminology. Okay, but when you're deeper in the program, you find You just have to note the color coding. You just have to know what's the opening bar, and then you just have to know general direction, and you can drag it in. Yes, alum needs to be dragged to each pair you want to trade. Yes. So if you want to trade into Aussie dollar, you have to put alum into Aussie dollar for you to auto trade. All right. Yeah. Is it okay to switch off the server housing alum during the weekend? This I answered already. If it's VPS, you don't need to switch it off. Okay. If it's a mini PC, I don't switch it off, because when you switch it off and you restart, then the alum will be reactivated if the EA is still inside there, okay, attached to a chart, right? So therefore, I recommend to leave it on. I actually leave it on. I don't switch it off, okay? Partly because the mini PC is my it's my MT4, because I don't have an MT4 on my Mac. I don't install the Mac version, right? So I actually use the mini PC as a another window, another window machine. Let's put it this way, okay? So I don't run MT4 on my Mac. Yeah. All right. Okay. Any other questions here? Do we avoid periods of high volatility due to news? The answer is no. Okay, we still trade inside the news, because most of the time, right, you will find that our trade are ahead of the news. Okay, but there are periods of news that I will tend to avoid. For example, as my personal habit, I don't trade into NFP. Okay, but if I have no choice but to hold that position into NFP, I will do that. Okay, but I don't purposely go and open a position before NFP. All right. So for example, yesterday was a CPI. It's quite a huge mess here, CPI, right? So yesterday I have this dollar franc. Okay. My dollar franc was a short dollar franc. My short was here. Where? Cannot remember already. The green line and then somewhere around here, I think so. I cannot remember where exactly I shorted. It moved down, right? And it didn't. That means that it's probably missed my interim by a little bit, right? So, I held on to that CPI. Okay, held on to the CPI. And then after that, you can see that you have the magenta line actually coming in already. So when I was here, when I was here, right, like these one here, right, I could see the magenta coming in. So magenta, we are looking for buy, right? Which means that when price closed above the magenta, like this one here, it didn't. Okay, but then subsequently closed above the magenta. It's almost like, to me, this trade cannot short anymore. So I actually exited this trade. Okay, so in fact, that's true. So did I hold the trade into CPI? The answer is yes. Because if you don't do that, you can't make money. You can't make a lot of money. You're probably only making peanuts each time. Okay. Same thing as your stocks. Sometimes because of news, you also be holding it true inside the news. And I think that people actually especially bet into the earnings. So for certain events, I would let you know during the Tuesday or the session or the Thursday session, or even in Telegram to let you know that this is very important, very high volatility, and my views about it. Okay, but generally, as an answer, yes, I hold it through the news. All right. Can I show how to open 2 MT4 on one PC? Can I ask you guys to just go to this discussion, the group here, all right, and then here, and then look into the pin message. When it's at the pin message, right, you will find things like, you just scroll through the pin message. There would be very detailed write-up on how to do the remote control, room access, or how to have this two platform together in one computer. Okay, just have to follow the step. All right, so this technical stuff I can't be able to show here, but it's documented. Okay, what's the R for alum? You have to understand what is alum about if you read the user guide. So alum is a trade manager. First, it helps you to open. Second, it helps you to manage a trade, and then it helps you to log profit, and it helps you to add your position, when it's profitable. Okay, so if you stick to all, and if a trade can move, then the profit ratio will be very high. Okay, as high as 3, 4, 5:1. But if it's being stopped out at interim as part of that very protective nature, then of course, you only enter into the break-even state. Then the reward to risk is actually very low. All right. So for example, if you look into, let's say, the trade today for Aussie dollar, all right, the open price is here. The stop loss is probably around here. Okay, so that's about 70 pips. Okay, and right now it's traveling also to 70 pips. The reward to risk right now is 1:1. Okay, but when it reaches into the interim profit, all right, then it will continue to add the position for you depending on how much profit you have accumulated. Okay, so for someone who put in only a 0.02, you can't have a lot of profit to open the next trade, and you can't have that reward ratio there. Okay, because you can't have the extra trade being open. But for someone who put in, let's say, a 1 standard lot, you definitely will have money, accumulated profit to open an added position. And then you have that, higher winning to reward rate, reward to risk ratio. Okay, so this I find very difficult to answer, all right, as a reality. Okay, so what I really think you should do is you should read the user guide to understand how alum works. Okay, all right. So I want to answer your question, but there are certain things it's just impossible to answer. Okay? Any other question? Okay. Now, no other question. I will end the session here. All right, and we will send you the recording. The recording would be the the YouTube link. All right, you can look at it again. Okay, but what I strongly advise all of you new to us, all right, is to get started with the admin. Okay, so there are a few things that you have to do. You have to overcome that barrier. Okay, I know the setup is difficult because good things can never be easy. All right. Okay. All right. With this, I'll see you again tomorrow in the evening. Okay. So student probably say I'm one of the most hardworking trainer. I think so though. All right. I see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.